98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're Sports Time and we're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get into tomorrow. Opening day in Major League Baseball. We'll start making our picks this afternoon. We'll start in the AL today. We'll do the NL tomorrow. Sweet 16 action tomorrow night. So a lot of college basketball talk. And the Lakers, they're in town tonight to face the Grizzlies. And the latest reports indicate that LeBron James is expected to suit up and play tonight in Memphis. So good chance you'll see LeBron James down at the Forum. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing great, and this is kind of the confluence of the springtime. We got a lot of things going or getting ready to start, and 'twas the night before baseball season, and I couldn't be more excited. It's my favorite sport. I can't wait until tomorrow afternoon when the Cardinals are playing at Dodger Stadium. Against the big bad Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani. Nothing going on in his world, is it?
No, nothing.
All
It's
quiet?
Just, he's just getting ready for the season. Nothing different.
I can't wait till tomorrow afternoon. What if I told you I've got Alabama friends that tomorrow afternoon that are going to be at Dodger Stadium for Cardinals Dodgers and then get downtown to Crypto for the Crimson Tide tomorrow night against the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Good Lord, what a day. What an
That's
afternoon.
better than the Beaming Machine, isn't it?
Honestly, forget the Beaming Machine. They've got it. They've got it all figured out. Yeah, that sounds like a
And
great
ask me
day.
if I wanted to go like I could afford to do all that. Oh, no, man, I've got a job. I've got to work.
Oh, man, that'd be a great time, though. Go see the season opener and then hopefully see Alabama punch their ticket to the Elite Eight.
I felt like Donald Sutherland in Animal House. This is my job.
Oh, man.
And
Hilarious.
so I can't do that tomorrow night. You're right. We will make picks today. We will pick the American League. Bryant, when I was small, I would watch Channel 5 sports at night. And Great Caesar's ghost, Big Jack Eaton. And when he would do the baseball scores, he would always say, and tonight in the junior circuit, Cleveland 5, Minnesota 4. And I, for a long time, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
When he would say the junior circuit, well, it's because the National League was older, and back when we didn't have any interleague, nothing like it is now, it really was very much rival at the All-Star game, and you didn't see them from when you broke spring training. You didn't see any of those cats again until the Monday of All-Star game practice, and then for two teams, not again until the Fall Classic. But he would say that every night. And in the senior circuit, Cardinals, they were winners tonight over the Phillies. And his team was the Pirates. And he would always have the Pirates in the first or second score after the Cardinals. But we will pick the junior circuit today, and there are a lot of people in town and excited about LeBron James tonight. He didn't go last night. He was not missed.
No.
I watched every second of that game, and it was good stuff. The Lakers winners in double overtime. But all signs indicate that he will go tonight, and I hope so for so many people. I've got friends coming in from St. Louis, and I got a young friend of mine that's at Rhodes College, and they're so excited. A friend of mine from St. Louis taking his son to see LeBron James, and I don't want to get into the Jordan or James argument. Well, maybe I do. At the Sissy's Log Cabin text line, 901-360-8255. MJ or LBJ? All time. Who's best? That's all we need.
I love it.
MJ or LBJ?
I love it.
I can make a strong case for both.
I could. Yep.
I could make a case, not as strong, for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain.
Sure.
I'm not going to, though.
Right. Yeah.
I will go with these two. So, by any stretch, third best player ever, at the very worst, LeBron James is. He's not that.
No, not at all. I mean, it's
and he'll be in town tonight.
He'll be in town tonight and should go for the Lakers tonight. So it should be a really fun time at FedEx Forum. But you're right. Last night, that game, in Milwaukee was incredible. I mean, Lakers down big going into the fourth quarter. It looked like it was, wrap it up and this one's done. But then big comeback. They hold the Bucks to only 13 points in the fourth quarter, and then get to overtime and force second overtime, and they're able to pull out the win. And so they're certainly going to be coming in here, a little tired, I'm sure. I mean, that getting done with that game late, going to 2 overtimes, having to will your way to a victory, then hop on a plane and get down here. But it should be a fun atmosphere tonight for the Grizzlies. And hopefully, I know a lot of talk about LeBron James, but hopefully we get to see Brandon Clark in a uniform and in action tonight.
Finally, the return of Brandon Clark, that will be fun. And you're right. Look, nobody's making the case that they walk from Milwaukee to Memphis. But I know what time they arrived at their team hotel last night, and that's rough stuff. And you look at that box score, and you see that minutes played for a lot of those guys, and that could catch them tonight. Yeah. Because of the two, yesterday I missed badly. I said I thought they were punting on the game last night, just kind of schedule loss, whatever.
Sure.
We got a feast on the Grizzlies. Well, they got that win last night.
Yeah,
they're in pretty good shape. They're in real good shape to be in the play-in, to be in that 9 spot. But I don't think they can catch Phoenix for 8. They're only 2 back in the all-important loss column, but a win tonight for them, they know they're going to be in, and maybe then they could go for it. The schedule's tough because they're having to clear out of crypto, as the Clippers are as well, to accommodate the NCAA, like we had to do last week here in Memphis, like the Grizzlies had to do, and we knew that.
Yeah, I mean, so you're right. I mean, they were on the road last night against the Bucks, here tonight in Memphis, and then have to turn around, go see the Pacers on the road, the Nets on the road, Raptors on the road, Wizards on the road. The next time they'll be playing in crypto, April 6th. So, I mean, still another week on the road before they return. So, I mean, that's tough. I understand, Wizards, Raptors, Nets are teams that have really struggled.
But the bucket's getting empty.
Yeah, and I mean, that's tough stuff for sure, be on the road that long.
Clippers, same thing, and the Clippers in that 4, 5, 6 fight, and they're having to get out of their arena. And another reason why when Ballmer finishes his complex, he'll be so glad.
Oh man, oh yeah.
Now he's going to want to be hosting NCAA a lot of times in that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I think you'll see the NCAA tournament someday played at Stan Kroenke's arena. Except for that rascally issue of it's not a fully enclosed dome.
Yeah, that gets tricky.
And you really kind of can't have that. You can't have wind effect at a basketball game.
No, that would not be good. That's kind of the last thing you want. Except, we say that. I mean, and obviously NCAA tournament much different, but I mean, we play basketball games on ships nowadays. So, I mean, well,
we do.
But you
1936 Olympics played outside.
Really? Wow. But you certainly don't want that in a big time NCAA tournament game. Though,
1936 on the bingo card?
No.
On the Olympics?
No.
Sure did. Played outdoors in Berlin.
Wow. How about that? No, I did not see that coming. Did not know that. But you're right about the Clippers. I mean, they're not on the road as long because, they kind of got a break on their schedule. But 76ers, Magic, Hornets, Kings all on the road. That's brutal. I mean, that is hard on the road.
It is. It is. And again, they're not walking anywhere, but.
No.
And I don't want anybody to feel too sorry for millionaire basketball players or athletes, but they travel like rock bands, middle of the night, crawling all over the world, and that could be disruptive.
Yes, no, it certainly can. And
now the 1st and 15th makes it all worth it.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, and like you said, I mean, it's late nights, but they're traveling in style. They're not in they're not in business class or anything. But
no, they're not at baggage claim.
No, absolutely not. But
hadn't been in a long time. Remember that Wilt Chamberlain and early in Kareem's career they were.
That's true. That is very true. But not anymore. Things have changed. But it should be fun tonight at FedEx Forum. Like you said, a lot of minutes for those guys that did play for the Lakers last night. So we'll see if they're lagging a little bit tonight against the Grizzlies. But should be fun, to see this young team, kind of banged up team. But you'll have, Jaren out there. Hopefully you get Brandon Clark out there, and Gigi will be out there, and it'll be a good test for them against LeBron James and this Lakers team.
Right, there was a famous headline in the 70s. New York City was on they were insolvent. And the city itself was about to declare bankruptcy. And it was either Mayor Ed Koch or Mayor John Lindsay, and they made a plea to the federal government for a bailout. And the federal government said no. In the headline the next day, government to New York City dropped dead. That was the headline. Scram. That's basically what the headline or the communique back to NCAA chair Charlie Baker will be to people wanting to stop prop bets on college sports.
Yes.
Charlie, drop dead. Governor, whatever, president, whatever we want to call you, drop dead. We're not doing it.
Yeah, no, that was the big news this morning. That they're trying to make all efforts, everything they can do to stop prop betting for college athletes, and I don't know how far we'll get, but I'm interested to see where it goes.
Don't bet the over.
No.
How far it will get.
No.
Did you notice the messaging Sunday at FedEx Forum by the NCAA in-house, kind of the public service announcement during breaks of, don't bet on it. Keep the games pure. You don't have to bet on it to have fun. Hey, NCAA, all the things you have going on right now, you're worried about something really small.
Yes, and I did see those because I remember the buddy I was at the games with. He just started sports betting like a week ago, and I saw that commercial go up or that whatever, and I poked him. I said, "Hey, look, they're talking to you. You need to stop while you're ahead and not gamble on all of these games." Oh man, if they're talking to anybody, they're talking to you. You're the one that's talking. Well,
that's right.
I know what I'm doing.
Because you bet on the CBI last night.
I did. I did last night. You're right. You got me. My hands are. You got me. Call me red-handed. But
every time that would play Friday or Sunday, I just chuckle. I'm thinking, you talking about worried about the kitchen sink leaking during the biggest flood ever.
That's right. Yes, a lot more issues than that. I understand that is an issue, but it's not certainly one of the smaller issues right now that they have on the table. But I guess we don't have to worry about it because you can't prop bet on college athletics in the state of Tennessee. So
is that right?
Yeah, no, you can't do any college prop bets here. So I know other places it's real big, and I'll see people post all the time. Take the over on points for this second round NCAA tournament game. But hadn't come here yet, and I doubt it's coming anytime soon. So,
Brett, when does my official starting point that I can't complain about Major League Baseball begin?
2 p.m. tomorrow when we get the first pitch in the Angels, Orioles, and then Braves Phillies game. I've got about 22 hours and 50 minutes that I still can? Give or take, yes.
Okay, good. There was silly me. Now, this is really on me. It's not a shot at anyone. Brian, I really held out hope. Over the offseason, after spring training started, camps open, games beginning, two big left-handed free agents still out there.
Oh, yeah.
I really held out hope. The Cardinals getting not one, but both.
Yeah.
Snell and Montgomery.
Well, I tried to reel you back in on Montgomery.
I know you did.
Everything I heard said that he just absolutely hates the Cardinals. I don't know what happened.
What did we do to him?
I don't know. I don't know what happened between him coming on
why is he so sore at the Cardinals?
and him being traded.
We're the best fans in baseball. Doesn't he know that? Who's this guy?
Honestly.
Well, he was on the World Series winning team.
And going to and just signed with the team that lost in the World
Series. We let him go to the World Series team.
That's a very, very good point.
Why is he so angry?
He should be thanking us, if anything.
What's he got? The Stones' new song "Angry" on his iPod playing? Back off.
Something. But I told you, I don't know what it was, but he sounds like he hates the Cardinals.
Well, then, you know what? I'm going to return the favor.
Hey, you got until tomorrow at 2 p.m., and then there's no more hate in your heart.
I could have used this now. Now, will I be violating it like tomorrow? We already have 2 rainouts tomorrow. Did you realize that?
I knew we had one. What's the second one? I know Brewers Mets got rained
Brewers
out.
Mets.
That was supposed to be the first game of the day. I mean, that was
I
a
know.
12 o'clock game.
We got to wait till 2:05 now tomorrow afternoon.
Jeez.
Angels and Orioles, and for a lot of reasons at that game. And I don't know if they invite like they used to with Washington having a team with the Nationals, but the Nationals aren't home. With everything that's happened in Baltimore, I think it would be great tomorrow for President Biden to go there, throw out that first pitch, be part of the ceremony in Baltimore. And Baltimore's going to be good again this year. Anyway, Rays Phillies also postponed tomorrow.
You're kidding.
Yeah, they are. And Brewers and Mets scuttled already. So here's my point. Would this be violating my pack? Why are we scheduling Brewers at Mets when it could have been Mets at Brewers under a roof?
Well, that's a good point. And
Braves at Phillies when we could have had the Phillies in Atlanta in a little more better late March weather.
Yes, no. John brought up the same thing earlier today, and was more talking about the.
Did he go crazy? Would he have violated the criticism rule?
No, he didn't. I wouldn't say he went crazy. He just more was like, I don't understand why we're playing it. A couple things I can tell you about Philadelphia in late March. It's usually colder than it is in the South.
Very good take for John.
The weather is
no meteorologist is John Harden.
No, and he goes, but things I can tell you in Atlanta in late March, it's going to be warmer than it is in Philadelphia.
Really good take.
That's about it.
That's strong.
And I was like, well, I mean, that's a really good point. And that was before I think it was officially postponed. But
right there is why Dr. Flynn pays John the big money.
I mean, that's right.
That kind of great takery.
There's other things I think is also why. But that's certainly one of them. But yes, that does not.
But I lose my mind every year over that.
That is common sense, though. If you kind of
Johnny, isn't it?
That's common sense.
It just kind of is.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But I mean, hey, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can call the commissioner, you can call Manfred anything you want to call him until tomorrow at 2:00, and then
it's just sunshine and daffodils, right?
That's got to stop. Yep, you got to go until you can go.
I'm so scared of using this note for tomorrow in fear of violating I won't crack on baseball, a sport that I love more than anything else in my life, and St. Louis Cardinals at the very top of loves in my life with family and the Ole Miss Rebels. Also this tomorrow. And I didn't really know how to frame it into big number of the day.
Okay.
The Major League Baseball started, the National League, the senior circuit, started playing 162 games beginning in 1962.
Okay.
So we've done it for 61 full seasons now. The St. Louis Cardinals, in that time, when they play a full 162, have never had back-to-back losing seasons.
Wow.
They've had back-to-back losing seasons in strike, labor-marred years, but they've never, when played a full 162, they've never had. The last time for the Major League Baseball, air quotes here, full season, 154, 1957, 1958, the last back-to-back full seasons. Now, again, some of those labor issue years, stoppages and lockouts and strikes, they did. But when you have anything close to a full season, it's been 57, 58, never when we played 162.
Well, that gives me hope. That makes me feel better than I've been feeling. With
pressure's on Oliver Marmol.
It sure is. It sure is. And wow, I mean, with injuries, I'm worried for the start of the season.
Pressure's on John Mozeliak.
That's absolutely true. I think way more pressure on him than Marmol, even though I think a lot of pressure on Marmol as well. But I'm excited for tomorrow. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Vince Ferrara from WNML in Knoxville. He'll join us. He's up in Detroit for the big Friday night game for the Tennessee Volunteers against Creighton. So we'll talk a lot of UT basketball. So might check in a little bit of Tennessee spring practice on the football side, but a lot to get to with Vince in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk a little bit more about the Lakers and the Grizzlies, that game tonight at FedEx Forum. Sounds like LeBron will play. It sounds very likely that Brandon Clark will also make his return from injury, so should be a lot of fun tonight at FedEx Forum. 4 o'clock, Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 14 will join us, talk a lot of SEC college basketball, some of the hires and obviously with Arkansas, Nate Oates, it looks like he'll stay, but a lot of question marks. So we've got to ask him about that, and also what happened over the weekend with the SEC in the NCAA tournament. We'll do that at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll make our picks for the AL. So we'll go through divisions, what our playoff brackets will look like, and then all of the awards. We'll do that at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney will join us to talk college basketball. A ton to get to with Kevin. Tournament, hirings, transfer portal, a lot to get to at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Head over to Family Leisure right now. They've got factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get preseason pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. Only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by the king of NCAA tournament brackets, Johnny Hill. This is Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. All our guests will appear there, and we want you to hit us up, MJ or LBJ, all time at 901-360-8255, the Sissy's Log Cabin text line. As Bryant said, we're always in our Family Leisure studios, and every day we're always sponsored in this hour by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but better yet, stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it looks like Louisville has their answer at head coach. All indications pointing to Pat Kelsey, head coach of College of Charleston, will be the head coach for the Louisville Cardinals. It sounds like the offer has been made, and all Pat Kelsey has to do is sign the contract. I also saw right before walking in today that a press conference has already been scheduled for tomorrow afternoon at Louisville, so it sounds like this could be done, and we could be
now they've had that Yum Center press conference area set up for about a week.
A while. And they've
been ready.
I'm hoping that there was something else going on at the Yum Center over the weekend, not just set up a whole week for the coaching hire. But Pat Kelsey, his team has been successful. He made the NCAA tournament this year with them, and I've seen a lot of people on social media talking about what the College of Charleston basketball program could be. They've got the money, they've got the facilities to become a powerhouse mid-major program, and part of that has been what Pat Kelsey has done and the success he has brought to that program. Now it looks like he'll take over at Louisville, and really one of the lowest points Louisville basketball has been in all of the history of the program. And
we've enjoyed it.
We have enjoyed it. It's not going to be easy for him, but I do think after what Louisville has endured over these last 2 years, I think the school, the boosters, I think everybody's going to be very willing to do whatever they need to do to get a competitive ball club back out on that court. And so I'm excited to see what Pat Kelsey can do. He's a very energetic coach, and we'll see what kind of turnaround they can make in year one under him.
My top story is something we need to remember next year at mock bracket time and at during the course of the college basketball season, when everybody gets convinced of how wide open the year is and how soft the bubble is. The bubble was anything but soft this year. It was as hard as the runway at Memphis International all year, because with all the bid stealers, that's what all the bracketologists don't figure in, is that last weekend of the bid thieves. So just how wide open is this NCAA tournament? You have Duke and North Carolina in the Sweet 16. You got the defending champs UConn. You've got 2 5 seeds. You got a 6 seed from the ACC. Heck, one of the 5s played in the finals last year in San Diego State, and the other is Gonzaga. 11 seed, America's darling. Anybody? NC State. But could they be on a Jimmy V 1983 run? This one may be more improbable than 1983. They were a 6 seed that year, had to win the ACC tournament and a bunch of close games in the tournament before magic happened in Albuquerque.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day last night, Kentucky Athletic Director Mitch Barnhart tweeted out this statement. As we normally do at the end of every season, Coach Calipari and I have had conversations about the direction of our men's basketball program, and I can confirm that he will return for his 16th season as our head coach. So it looks like John Calipari will be back for another year at Kentucky, and the response to this has varied. I've seen some people, fans and media alike, saying this is not the right decision. It's time to move on from Cal and go in a different direction. I've also seen a lot of people on the other side saying, good, it's not time to move away from him. Continue to ride with him and see what happens. But I don't really know what side I sit on, but what I do know is that next year is going to be very uncomfortable for him in Lexington.
From opening night on.
Absolutely. We know what happened after that St. Peter's loss. That next year, it was brutal, especially early on. I mean, the fans were not bought in. The fans were ready for a change, and now with another first-round exit against Oakland, I don't think there are going to be a lot of very happy Kentucky fans early in the season. They're going to want to see him prove it, and then when he proves it, they're going to still be hesitant and waiting to see what he can do in the NCAA tournament, because we've seen he brings the talent in. He has these rosters that can compete with seemingly everybody, but then when it comes tournament time, it is starting to get far more common that it's going to be an early exit for that Kentucky team, and so we'll see what happens in year 16 for Coach Cal.
My not top story, the Grizzlies. No, not the Oakland Grizzlies, but Memphis Grizzlies against the Lakers tonight at FedEx Forum. Game 73 of a certified cluster of a year for the Grizzlies. The last time Beat LA rang out in FedEx Forum was last year in the playoffs. The next time it'll be Game 81 in about 2 weeks. It may not even be a not top story by then. Just get to the end of the year. The playoffs versus the Lakers were great, but it was that last really happy moment collectively for this franchise. Lost Game 1, beat them in Game 2 at FedEx Forum, won Game 5 at FedEx Forum, and then lost by 40 in LA. Since then, rough.
It has been rough. That is a good word for it. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk some Vols basketball with Vince Ferrara.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Springtime is hot wing time, and time for the ultimate hot wing showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. Be there Saturday, April 20th at Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for hot wing supremacy, along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll. All in support of the Ronald McDonald House. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. It's hot wing time in Memphis. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days, all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Raider Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett on the Pike or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Renegade Triple P 56029 MSRP 30,040. Altitude PD 10 3653 MSRP 41230. Gladiator PL 570 369 MSRP 64925. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all, the collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new Ping G730 and I-530 irons. The G730 irons are Ping's longest and most forgiving irons, while the I-530s fit golfers who want more distance in a player's design and are engineered for higher launch and more. Visit us in-store at Edwin Watts Golf Shops or online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Jason, the main man Marshall's marking down everything on the lot. He just can't help himself.
I love making my customers happy at Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike.
Well, Jason, how you doing it this month?
With deals like this, Randy, choose from 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport. Take your pick, just $275.96 a month.
Jason, how about Tiguans?
How about 0% for 60 months on 24 Tiguans, plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports, and no reasonable offer will be refused.
So hook up with Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, or go online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Just come see me, Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike.
All 36 monthly, $7,500 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Taos RMO 53314, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 003120, MSRP 30,026. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cannot combine APR with 3,000 customer cash rebate. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details with approved credit. Dealer stock only. Offer expires end of the month.
Grizz Nation, join us Saturday, April 6th at 7 p.m. for a special Mark Gasol retirement night when your Memphis Grizzlies take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The first 5,000 fans get a commemorative vinyl record, and be sure to stay for the post-game ceremony. Get tickets today at Grizzlies.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Already mopping up a couple of earlier accidents out here. One was 240 East near Poplar. Traffic's on the increase already. 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. A little bit crowded. Certain sections of Sam Cooper going outbound, especially there up by Perkins, headed back towards the interstate. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 to Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure studios, and we're trying to get a hold of Vince Ferrara to talk Alabama basketball. I believe we are getting him
Tennessee.
now. Tennessee. Good Lord. I'm thinking just SEC. But yeah, talk Tennessee basketball. But I do think we have Vince Ferrara now with us from WNML in Knoxville. He's in Detroit for the game this weekend, the Sweet 16 game for Tennessee against Creighton. Vince, thanks so much for joining us in Detroit. A big game coming up in the Sweet 16 against Creighton. But what has been the biggest thing you've noticed about this Tennessee team through their first two games in the NCAA tournament?
Well, great to be on with you guys. I think it's been how they found different ways to win. They shot 51% for the game in their game one win over St. Peter's, and we hadn't seen them shoot that way since the Auburn game that they won late in the season. And after that, they had struggled to get to 38% shooting, and they were lights out, over 60% in the first half against St. Peter's and 51% for the game. So that was a game we hadn't seen them put together offensively in a while. And then in the second game, it was such a grind for them. They started out 1 of 21 from three-point range, and really their shooting percentage was terrible. They became only the second team in the NCAA tournament to shoot under 34% and from the field and under 12.5% from three-point range and win. And the only other time that had happened was a Rick Barnes coach Clemson team. So it tells you how good their defense was. They turned over Texas a bunch. And there's a question is, can this team win, and is it too reliant on Dalton Connect? And they haven't had Dalton Connect have to go off for them and carry them in the first two games. Obviously, it gets more difficult, but I think it was encouraging for them to not shoot great, but not have all those offensive shooting struggles impact them defensively. They finished, after the 1 of 21 start from three, they finished 2 of 4, and they needed those two clutch threes from Connect and James. And then they were able to sink their free throws late in the game. They made their last 7 between Adu and Connect, and they weren't fazed by the moment whatsoever. And that was another, one of the things you wondered, because this team's free throw percentage had slowly slid back as the year went on. But when they counted, they made them. Doesn't guarantee they're going to be that way moving forward, but it was a good sign that this team could find a way to win in the NCAA tournament, which is what you got to do.
Back-to-back Sweet 16s for Rick Barnes' team. Does that back some people off, or is it a lot of people still wanting more?
But say that again. Ask that question again. I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
Back-to-back Sweet 16s, does that back off some of the Rick Barnes critics, or are a lot of fans just still wanting further advancement?
Oh yeah, no, it does. It doesn't. That doesn't change anything. The goals are greater than the Sweet 16. So just getting there, if they were to lose this game, we'd hear from those that are disgruntled right away. So they made it to the Sweet 16 last year without Zakai Ziegler, and with the bracket seemingly opening up for them. And then, this year they've made it there with seemingly more tools to succeed in the postseason and being healthy for the first time really in the Rick Barnes era with a legit team. And they've only had one, out of their top 8 guys, only had one game missed the entire season, and that was a walk-up for the North Carolina game. So they've got the characteristics of a team that can go a long way. They've got the health of a team that can go a long way. They have the experience of a team that can go a long way. Fans, to me, that bar is minimally Elite 8. Maybe beyond that, and that's in talking and hearing from fans. We posed that question: what's successful in the tournament? That's what we've heard: the 2 rounds, Elite 8 and Final Four. So it is not just the Sweet 16.
Yeah. I agree with him. Now you can back off the second round Rick stuff, but third round Rick doesn't get you a lot. But a win over Creighton, then I don't know if you could criticize an Elite 8 team.
No, I don't think so, because guess what? You're the 2 seed, and if it's chalk,
that's
which
right.
A lot of it has been, you lose in the regional final if it's chalk. So, they would have wanted more, but I don't think you can scream from a rooftop like at the end of like at the quick appearance at the SEC tournament when people were going out of their minds and saying it's time to move on from Rick Barnes. So. little over the top there, but yeah, you can't say that if they get to the Elite Eight.
Well, one thing we know about Creighton is they like to shoot the three ball, and they have a lot of success doing it. I saw the coaching staff kind of working up to this game has kind of compared them a little bit to Alabama with how Alabama likes to shoot the three ball. How do you expect Tennessee to go about defending the three-point shooters for this Creighton team?
Well, I think that's a fair comparison. I would say Alabama is more athletic, and they're maybe a little bit more reliant on Mark Sears on one player than what Creighton is. I mean, they've got Creighton's got some size to them, and Baylor Shireman and Trey Alexander's a terrific point, and just their top three are excellent, but they're not exactly the same. The basis is they shoot a bunch of threes. They have shot guys nearly 1,000 three-pointers this season. They've played 32 games, and they have 995 three-point attempts. So they shoot about 30-ish per game, and if my USF math is correct, and then they make about 11 per game. It's 10.7. So how do they go about doing that? I think this team relies on their basis is playing the gaps and not letting teams break them down for open threes, because they're pretty athletic, and when they're on, they can kind of do both and protect the gaps and still get out the three-point shooters. I think they're going to start doing that. But when teams make a bunch of early threes on them, there have been times where Tennessee then starts to give up the paint and starts to come out to those three-point shooters, and then it starts to snowball on them if they can't do both. So I think another answer to that for them is to be successful offensively and get off to a good start and try to get them out of character and maybe chasing some of those points from the three-point line, as opposed to doing it in more of their normal offense. So it's all kind of connected with this team, but the key is they need everyone else to be on point and not be too reliant on Dalton Connect, because Creighton they're gonna go after Connect, and they're gonna try to make him work. So Tennessee's gonna have to have contributions on both ends from everybody else as well, like they did in that Texas game, even if guys' shooting percentages weren't out of this world.
Vince, I think you just answered my next question then, but here it is. Who would you rather see make the first three, Santiago Vescovi or Dalton Connect for Tennessee Friday night?
I would say Vescovi, because
Connect's going to get his.
Exactly right. I'm not worried about his shots falling. He's going to be confident and make them. Vescovi's had a couple fall in the tournament against St. Peter's. That was good, but I think that could lead to not only him being confident in making those threes, but also everything else being on point with his game if he hits an early three, maybe two, honestly. And I think more teams are letting them shoot right now. So I would say Vescovi in that scenario.
So go ahead, Brett.
I'm sorry, Brett, you first.
Okay, I was just curious. We talk about the three-point shooting for Creighton, but they've also got a dominant big man down low in Ryan Kalkbrenner. How do you neutralize him? I mean, kind of a guy like him, it's hard to completely shut him down. How do you neutralize him, and do you think Tennessee has some sort of advantage with all of the big men they saw earlier in the season and in conference play? I mean, you saw Zach Edey in Maui. You saw Hunter Dickinson in Maui. Does that help a little bit when you're going up against a big man like Ryan Kalkbrenner?
Yeah, well, Kalkbrenner is different. I mean, the size is there, but he's not sort of kind of that back to the basket, grind them out type of big. He's going to try to pull Tennessee's bigs away. He's able to step out and make shots, and then the spacing they have on offense creates things for him as well. I would say in space, Jonas Adu does a pretty decent job. Teams, pick and roll him, and I think he actually does a fair job. The bigs that he has struggled more against are the ones that are just isolating a strong muscular post and just sort of backing him in on the low block and scoring over him. That's where I think, and we'll see, maybe that's something that they go to a little bit more often, but it's going to be a group effort. Tobe Awaka as a big two, they're going to need him to hold his own and be physical as well. So it'll be a collective on defense too. It's not just, they'll come down and their guards will come down and show as well and just try to make them uncomfortable. So Tennessee plays team defense, not just one guy.
Well, last thing for you, Vince, before we let you go, what's your prediction for the Sweet 16 matchup between Creighton and Tennessee?
I would not be surprised either way. I mean, you see a lot of the analysts, are going both ways in this matchup. And before the tournament in my bracket, I have this matchup and I have Creighton advancing, but I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either way. Tennessee has the goods to win the game. Creighton has the goods to win the game. I just caution, and maybe there are some of these fans there that listen to you guys there in the western part of the state. I caution the football fans that are jumping on board on this ride and following this basketball team to not look at the name brand of Tennessee's opponent and say, they don't have football. I don't know what. I've never really heard of them. Of course, Tennessee should beat them because that's not what this game is all about. It's not what their track record is all about. They made the Sweet 16 3 of the last 4 years, so they are plenty capable of advancing. They were, a point away basically from going to the Final Four a year ago. So, just Creighton's just been more consistent in their shooting, and I would give them an edge in a game that where they can make up some ground with a 3-point shot. Whereas I think Tennessee maybe needs a few more elements to be in place for them to be successful.
Yeah. Well, it should be a lot of fun as always, Vince. Thanks so much
for
joining us, and enjoy the action this weekend.
Yeah, sure, will be awesome. So always great to be on with you guys. Appreciate you, and talk to you again hopefully soon.
Thanks.
You got it.
Vince Ferrara, he joins us from WNML Knoxville. He's in Detroit with the Tennessee basketball team for their big Sweet 16 game against Creighton. It's going to be a tough matchup for them. Creighton shoots that three ball well. They've got a really good one of the better big men in all of college basketball. So it's not going to be easy, but we know how good this Tennessee team has played all season long. Honestly, one of the more most excited I am for one of these games in the Sweet 16 is that one. But let's go ahead and get. I'm sorry, Brett. You want to jump in?
And Vince mentioned it. Two teams that don't play football in the Sweet 16: Gonzaga and Creighton. Creighton's in the Big East. Gonzaga trying to get in the Big 12.
Brett. Until he said that, I had never even thought about it before. Of how there are probably some people that are
I had to look it up last night.
Creighton. I never even dawned on me. But you're right. Yes, two dominant basketball or really good basketball programs that do not play football.
Does Alabama still play football? I kid, Bama friends. I kid.
Well, on that note, let's get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about tonight's matchup between the Grizzlies and the Lakers.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We gossip $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, $39.85, MSRP $22,320. Sportage R7, $24,7640, MSRP $29,635. Telluride RG, $49,9963, MSRP $41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Fiveash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Response to the all-new Genesis Diamonds has been incredible. People are loving what we've brought to Memphis. Genesis is a different kind of jewelry store, with more jewelry than you've ever seen in one place, at prices you never thought possible. What's the Genesis secret? Our owner was born and raised in the diamond industry in Tel Aviv. After selling wholesale to high-end jewelry retailers for years, he hated the insane markups they were getting away with. So he stopped selling to the stores and started selling direct to the public. That philosophy is still a core part of Genesis DNA, as we continue to sell the highest quality diamonds at true no-middleman direct importer prices. With international connections and massive buying power, Genesis has what it takes to beat anyone else's price every day on every diamond. Discover the Genesis difference, forever changing how people in Memphis buy diamonds and fine jewelry. Now open at Poplar & Perkins, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, $39.85, MSRP $22,320. Sportage R7, $24,7640, MSRP $29,635. Telluride RG, $49,9963, MSRP $41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. The Grizzlies, they're back in action tonight at home against the Lakers. And as weird as it sounds, it feels like this is probably the most healthy the Grizzlies have been if Brandon Clark returns in terms of the starters that we usually and role players that we were used to seeing last year. This seems probably the healthiest they've been most of the season. Jaren will go tonight. Desmond will go tonight. It looks like Brandon Clark will go tonight, listed as questionable. So should be a lot of fun. And on the other side, it sounds like LeBron James, after sitting last night's game on the road against the Bucks, it sounds like he'll be active tonight for the Lakers.
I guess better late than never on getting healthy.
Guess so.
Clock really ticking,
Yeah.
about to run out. LeBron James tonight, I hope he goes off and has a big game in defeat.
Yes.
I saw him get 51 one night with the Cavs in town, and it was something to watch. It was spectacular. So much fun, and I hope he entertains the big crowd tonight like that. There'll be a lot of Laker fans there tonight. We understand that's just part of it with arguably the top one or two player ever, as we talked about.
Yeah, and so, I mean, for good reason, there's going to be big crowds, and, I think that's going to be fun because I think, whether it's a bunch of fans there that are cheering for the Grizzlies and just wanting to see LeBron James in addition to that, or LeBron James fans that are there and cheering for LeBron James, it's for the reasons we know because of injuries. There hasn't been that energy. There has been energy in the building, but it hasn't been the energy that we've seen in the past couple of years when the team's rolling and they're winning all these games. And they're making that playoff push. And I think tonight you will see something resembling that. There will be a little more buzz in there, and I think that will be good for these guys to experience again and kind of get ready to see that again next year.
Somebody out there is getting a cake to the face from Grizz tonight with a Laker jersey on.
Yeah, absolutely. The classic cake to the face from Grizz.
We need that.
Yeah, absolutely. And but no, it really should be a lot of fun. And I'm excited. But like you mentioned it earlier, Brett, I mean, I think the Lakers, I'm curious to see how they come out tonight, especially early, with that game going not one, two overtimes last night against the Bucks, a nationally televised game. And I mean, you're seeing a lot of players playing, in the high 40s, even in the low 50 minutes in that game last night for the Lakers. Now they have to turn around, get on a plane, fly to Memphis, and then play the very next night against the Grizzlies. So I am interested to see how these two teams come out early in the first quarter.
Even Kareem Abdul-Hashimura played 39 minutes last night.
That's right. So, I mean, it's, you look at that
God,
starting
did he
lineup.
kill us in game one last year.
Well, he did. And, anybody who didn't know who he was quickly found out and quickly learned who he was in that game. But, I mean, you look, 52, 39, 42, 50, 48. That's the minutes played last night by the starters for the Lakers.
Hit Memphis at 1:30 in the morning. Those guys, everybody, they can sleep all day. No, they had to get up for treatment.
Right.
And especially Anthony Davis, it was very gimpy late in that game last night.
Yeah, and that's the one I'm circling.
It's not sleeping till noon, and then, hey, my ankle's really
it's
swelled up big overnight.
No, it's wake up, get treatment, get breakfast. So it's a lot that goes into it, but it should be a really fun game tonight for the Grizzlies, a 7 p.m. tip-off downtown tonight. But let's go ahead and get to a break, wrap up our first hour, and when we come back, we're talking a bunch of college basketball, SEC college basketball with Blake Lovell.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Add in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South, it's springtime, so let's celebrate with the Gossett Mitsubishi Motor Spring Sales Event. Time to go spring breaking with 43 MPG Highway. Do it right with 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for only $19,110 or $259 a month. Go your own way in style with 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $30,150 or $449 a month. Or hit the road in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE $36,165 or $399.99 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHW 6614 MSRP 1916 Eclipse RZO 32749 MSRP 30650 Outlander RZO 12807 MSRP 36165 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Clearing up a couple of earlier wrecks. We had 240 East up near Poplar. It's already a little bit busy up through there as it is, especially on 240 East coming past Spillmore Parkway. It's starting to get a little bit busier in the last few minutes on 55 southbound down through South Haven as you continue all the way down into DeSoto County. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Wednesday afternoon. And joining us now, talk some college basketball, SEC college basketball from the Southeastern 14. Blake Lovell joins us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin phone line. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. And last week when we talked to you, you said look out for Oakland, look out for Jack Golke, and you were absolutely right. People need to look out for them because they went out and beat Kentucky in the first round, and really the story of the first round in the tournament.
And we have heat praise on you, Blake.
We really have.
Well, again, guys, sometimes you get one right out of 100. It's not too bad. But, yeah, I mean, look, it was, again, you only have what you have on paper going into these games. Like, you have to, you don't really have a lot of similar opponents. You don't have that kind of stuff to work with. And so you really just have to go based off of how each coach likes to coach and the system they like to play and, the different guys that can contribute. And that was just one, again, the more you looked at it, I just felt like it was one of those where if you're going to find a team out there that's going to pull an upset on a team like Kentucky that struggled all year long defensively, that was the one. And, turns out that Golke did what he usually does, hits a lot of big shots. And, it was just kind of the perfect storm for the Wildcats there. And, of course, that led to all the chaos over the past week. Will they or won't they keep John Calipari? That's going to happen now, we know. But, it was quite an upset for sure.
Like, that was just a great call. I didn't see it. I thought, no way, after 2 years ago against St. Peter, second round last year, he won't let it happen to him again. And you even said with us last week, this is the only 14 that you would have been that adamant about. And this was the one. It was just a great call. And really, Oakland controlled the game. They were never in panic, clawback mode. It was downhill all night.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, with Kentucky, and this has usually been the case, but, I mean, it was really the case with this team, too, where it's like, you know, you look at Kentucky and sure, you see all the talent, but, like, we talk about the teams that have had all the success in the NCAA tournament in this kind of era, which I don't know where this era would even start. I mean, it's kind of blending together, I guess, these days, but, like, the transfer, NIL, type era, it's usually the teams that have older guys and guys that have played together for quite a while. I mean, those are the teams that you see make a run or pull off some of these upsets. And, that was the difference, for example, with St. Peter's. I mean, St. Peter's, this year's team that got blown out by 30-something to Tennessee in the first round versus the one 2 years ago. The one 2 years ago was much more experienced than the one this year, which had very little experience. Kentucky is still a very inexperienced team. As good as they are, they just have not found themselves in these kind of situations. And not to say Oakland has. I mean, it's the first time they had won the Horizon League since making the switch there from the Summit. But you had a lot of those guys, Golke, everybody. I mean, those, three guys that had played 4 more years there, they had played a lot of basketball together. And they played in some important games, whether it's conference tournaments and all that kind of stuff. That adds up. And you just got there, and what happened? Some of Kentucky's freshmen just did not deliver, and that's the price you pay when you're kind of just banking on that when you get to March.
And once again, we saw that dynamic as from certainly the under 8 minute mark on, where the building almost becomes the building in Lake Placid on that day when the U.S. hockey team, quite a different scenario, but everybody turns on that better seed, that big power name. And the whole building was, Oakland euphoria, and they were able to pull it off. I don't think John Calipari should have been fired. I didn't think they would fire him. I don't think Kentucky could go out and get anybody better to be their head coach, but that fan base deserves something better.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, toxic's probably too strong of a word, although it probably wasn't over the past week up until they made it official, because it really was kind of getting to that point, it seemed like. But I think it's just really a matter of him adapting. I really feel like that's what and he's tried. I don't want to fault him for that, because I do think he has tried to adapt a bit when it comes to building his rosters. But he leaned in on this one, going back to kind of the way it used to be, where it's like, all right, this freshman class is so good. Because remember the talk we had coming into the season? It was, this may be the best freshman class he's had there since, the John Wall days and teams like that. And I don't know that it was completely wrong. I mean, other than a couple of injuries to guys along the way and all that. But, I mean, it was still a pretty loaded class when you think about how many of these guys are going to come out and probably be, top 20-ish type picks in the NBA draft. But I think at this point, something he's really not done a good job of, and it's kind of been a theme. I found this stat this morning, guys, where it's like, if you want to see every John Calipari team that's advanced to beyond the Sweet 16, which is, again, what Kentucky fans want. They don't want to just get to the Sweet 16. They want to advance beyond that. Every team he's done that with at Kentucky, minus the one, I think it was 2014. Of course, remember, that's when they're the 8th seed. They come in under the radar. They get paired with Wichita State, and then they make their run. Now, they lose in the championship. I guess that was the UConn year. But every other team that was really, really good, won 28-plus games or whatever the number was, they were all top 20-ish type defensive teams. And it looks like over the past several years, this trend has begun where he's building teams just on offense. And someone asked me, too, it goes back to the Oakland conversation we just had, who is the one guy on that Kentucky team that you had to guard a Jack Golke and that kind of, who's the defensive stopper like Zakai Ziegler for Tennessee or pick anybody else out there? Reed Shepherd's a good defensive player, but he's a freshman, and he's not just a complete defensive stopper. Mm-hmm. They don't have one on this team. And I think that's where, if he's going to convince anybody this is going to be different, he's got to go get a team that's built mostly on experience, which is hard to do because I think he's already got 6 guys that are freshmen that are signed or at least committed. but he's also got to get a team that's built on defense. I don't think you can just do it offensively, and I feel like he's tried to get by with that, and it's just not working right now.
Yeah. Well, you kind of mentioned it, but I mean, what is this fan base going to be like in Lexington next basketball season? I mean, because I think, we remember what happened that year after the St. Peter's loss, and they were, pretty hot most of the year, and I think they know that, as good as it gets during the season, you really can't buy in until the tournament, because this team, I mean, I remember, a month or so ago when people were saying this team could go to the Final Four, this team could win the national championship, and then it's a first round exit. I mean, what is that fan base like in November, in December next year?
That's the thing. Like, I think in November, December, we know what's going to happen. They're going to play a tough schedule. Mm-hmm. They're going to lose a game early to somebody, and the wheels are going to start to fall off for most fans. And, they could go 28-5 and win the SEC by 3 games next year. And that will be progress, but what happens if they get to the second round of the tournament and lose? Then all that goes out the window, because there will be some fans that will say, all right, look, we're back up. We went 28-5. Okay, we're going in the right direction. He's figured it out. We just happened to lose in the second round of the tournament. But there are so many fans now, though, that they only care about what they do in the tournament. Because it has been, in Kentucky land, it's been what feels like a century since they've gotten to the Final Four. Or even to, the second weekend in the tournament, it felt like they were a threat to be in the Final Four. That's how long it feels like it's been for a lot of these fans now. And so you're about to go through an entire, and this is why I wasn't sure what they would do. I mean, ultimately, once you settle down a little bit, you're like, okay, they're going to bring him back. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to be able to convince fans that anything's going to change until a year from now. A calendar year is the only way. And we're, and the season starts, 8 months from now or whatever it is. So it's like, you still got to wait an extra 4 months to convince anybody after that anything is really going to change. Because for all the people that are hyping up Kentucky, talking about how this team has all the talent to win it all this other stuff, how can we possibly do that anymore, knowing that unless he just builds his team on a completely different philosophy, I just don't know how you're going to convince fans anything's going to change until you get to the games that matter most, which, ask Rick Barnes what happens when you start just winning regular season and you don't win in the tournament, how the narrative starts to change on you.
Blake, it's the golf world. There are 4 majors a year. That's it. And the last one now is the British Open, played in July. In the Kentucky basketball world, the majors are kind of this. At Nashville, at the SEC basketball tournament, get to the Elite 8, get to the semis, win it all. That's their 4 majors.
Yeah, and that's not happened but once under John Calipari. So,
and they signed up for better than that over 15 years.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so it's interesting. I mean, I came in thinking this would be it for him if they did not kind of make that substantial progress. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like Groundhog Day. Are we going to do this again next year? I just can't imagine that next year, if we're sitting here in the same situation, they get beat in the first or second round. I think at that point, I think there's a 0% chance he would return. But last year I would have thought that number may have been 10%. So
all I can say is look out, Mark Stoops. Don't go 4-8 because they're ready to chop somebody's head off.
That's true. That's a good point.
So I know a lot of reactions coming from the weekend for the SEC and the NCAA tournament, and really kind of a disappointing outing for the conference. What were your other takeaways outside of the Kentucky loss? What were your takeaways from the weekend in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned, I thought it was something where, again, it's because it is about the matchups, it's really going to be dependent on what you kind of see from some of these teams early. And, for example, Mississippi State didn't get off to a great start. South Carolina didn't get off to a great start. And those were matchups I just didn't like in the first place, really. As I looked more at the Mississippi State-Michigan State when it worried me maybe than it did initially. But, like we said, the other matchups, there was really, we broke it down in the tiers I added in last week. There was only one matchup that I just absolutely loved and felt like it was 100% lock for the SEC, and that was, of course, the Tennessee-St. Peter's game. The Auburn one was the most disappointing one, I would say, by far, because I just didn't think this was the kind of Yale team that was going to be able to challenge Auburn. Because, remember, this is a team that really survived their conference tournament, had to rally from whatever it was down to beat Brown to even get to this point. And it just felt like Auburn was in that position where all they're talking about is Auburn, UConn, Auburn, UConn, Auburn, UConn. Well, that's not going to happen if you don't win your first game. And 3 minutes in, what happened? Jalen Williams gets injured. Of course, he came back and played, but he wasn't at 100%. Chad Baker-Mazara gets ejected. So 3 minutes in the game, you got two starters that somehow have gone out of the game for different reasons. One's not coming back for sure. One's coming back at less than 100%. And so that just, we mentioned a minute ago, it's like we talk about how Kentucky could never put Oakland away or ever just kind of feel like they were in control. It got to a point there where even in the second half, Auburn's up 9, 10, whatever. I'm like, I still don't feel like they're in control of this game. If they don't put them away, they're going to give Yale every chance at the end. And, that just kind of is what happened. But, yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of interesting to think back now. People were wondering all year. I mean, a lot of people, I think, felt like Tennessee was the best team in the SEC all year. But then it was always a question, is Alabama for real? Are they a fraud? Is the defense going to be a problem? That kind of was the conversation all season long. And we had that one big game in Tuscaloosa where Tennessee went on the road and won at Alabama towards the end of the season. Those were kind of the two teams that were leading the way, with Auburn in the mix every now and then, Kentucky in the mix every now and then, South Carolina. But ultimately, it's the two that really were kind of claiming that top spot all year long as the two left standing.
I've said if Alabama defeats North Carolina, it's their biggest win in its basketball history. I know they turn right back around and play in their biggest game, a game to punch a ticket to the Final Four, but for 24 hours beating North Carolina, do you think that would be their biggest win ever?
Probably would, because I think when you just consider what's at stake, and it's North Carolina, it's a 1 seed, and I think it's thinking about the level that you get to there, because you could have added a lot of biggest wins in program history last year, but they couldn't get beyond San Diego State, and so that kind of halted that. But now I think if you look at the setup, I mean, this is one where I look, if they come out and beat North Carolina, I think Alabama's got a great chance to get to the Final Four. Whether it's Arizona, whether it's Clemson, it comes out at the bottom, because we've already seen them play Arizona earlier this year. Obviously, Arizona took it to them pretty well in that game. I think they won by 13 back in December. But I tell you, there is something about this Alabama team that I think the more you look at it, as we said, all year long, the theme for me with Alabama was, we can say they're never going to make it far because of their bad defense, but the fact is, all you need is 5, 6 consecutive games in a row where you just can play good enough defensively. Yeah. And then if your offense is clicking, that's all it takes. You don't have to be great defensively over a 30-game span now. All you have to do is be good enough defensively, and you need your offense to kind of support you with that. And they can do it. I mean, this is going to be a game where, like I said, I don't even care what the number is. Take the over. Like Alabama, North Carolina, two teams that really want to score here. Now, Carolina's obviously a better defensive team. But I think if you look at the way Alabama plays, these are the kind of teams they've struggled against this year, but it's not like they've struggled to put up points against these kind of teams.
Right.
And I think that's where this thing's going to get interesting is I thought they had a great matchup that would have been Michigan State. This is not as good of a matchup, but still, with the way they can score, I just don't think you can ever say Alabama's just completely out of anything. And, man, Mark Sears is he's just a special college basketball player. Mm-hmm. I don't care what that guy does in the pros. He is just a special, special player at this level. And when you got a guy like that, they're going to have an opportunity, like you said, Brett, to get what may be their biggest win in program history.
Now Alabama knows how the rest of the college football world feels.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, right? So
yeah.
That's funny. Talking to Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 14, joins us every week, talk SEC basketball. And the other team still standing from the SEC, Tennessee, they'll take on Creighton in their Sweet 16 matchup, a team that some of the Tennessee staff has said is a lot like Alabama in terms of how they kind of go about it. They want to take a lot of threes. They try to get up and down the court. What do you see in this matchup for Tennessee, and how do they slow down this hot-shooting Creighton offense?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I hated this matchup for Tennessee on paper going into the tournament. I said if we got to this point, Tennessee and Creighton, I just said I don't know if I'd like it for Tennessee because some of the things they've struggled against this year, teams with a good big man, obviously Kalkbrenner is a great player, 7-1 guy who's going to be able to do a lot of different things in this game. And just kind of a team, I think that, like you mentioned, the team that really can score the ball very effectively, and that could put some pressure on Tennessee offensively, which we saw can not always be a good thing. Tennessee's not going to beat Creighton the way they beat Texas. They'll get blown out because I just think you're looking at a much better offensive team than that. You won't be able to get away with 3 of 25 from 3. And Connect, I mean, I know he wound up scoring 18, but it still wasn't that kind of vintage Dalton Connect performance we're used to seeing this year. And so they're going to have to play much better offensively. But I tell you, the more I look at this game, the more I actually like Tennessee because I think what you're going to see here is something we always talk about with Tennessee. And it's interesting you brought up Alabama, Brian, because I think what's interesting there is, like, if we think about what Tennessee did the best against anybody and what frustrated Alabama the most in the games that they played against Tennessee, which you can go back to last year. It's Tennessee's ability to not let you run your offense and to push you out so far and push you around, be physical, be aggressive. You got Ziegler on you just completely all over you. That's what I kind of sense could happen here against Creighton. Big East, very physical conference. I don't think Creighton's the most physical team in the Big East. And I think that Tennessee, as the more physical team in this game, is going to be able to push them around a little bit. And I wonder if that's going to wind up being the difference here. Because I just think sometimes it's easy to look at Tennessee's offensive woes and wonder, can they get by? Can they get by? They barely got by against Texas. Like I said, they're not going to be able to get by if it's that bad here. But I tend to think it'll be a little bit better. Creighton's a good defensive team, but what Creighton doesn't do is force any turnovers, and they're not anywhere near as aggressive as Tennessee is. And so I think if you look at it from that standpoint, it really comes down to if Tennessee can guard the 3, which they've done a pretty good job this season, and again, pushing teams far and far and far away from the basket, I think it sets up really nicely for them in this game. And I think really the key here, obviously Dalton Connect's going to be the guy you're circling the most, but I think Jonas Adu, if we're coming out of this and Tennessee scores an impressive victory, I think we're probably talking about Adu, because that's where, if Tennessee does get all the pressure on Creighton, forces them to go around them and not get those open looks they're used to, well, they're going to have to go inside and try to battle it out with Jonas Adu. And I just think that I said, guys, he's a sneaky kind of like SEC Player of the Year candidate in any other year other than this one, just because you look at his numbers, how effective he's been. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think if Tennessee wins, the story's going to be, man, that team put on a defensive performance of a lifetime, and that's why they're moving on.
Blake, how do you think Eric Musselman has played this out, kind of being a little bit coy, a little bit aloof? It almost feels like that at some point he's going to make that announcement of, why is everybody surprised I'm staying? I never was going anywhere, when we know he is shopped high and low for some of the jobs.
Yeah, this has been an interesting one. This and the Cal situation were really kind of fascinating to keep up with here over the past little bit because, like you said, I don't think anyone would be stunned by anything because it's just – and one of the things I mentioned was, like, we're so used to seeing both Muss and Cal kind of very – they're outgoing, right? You hear from them all the time. And now when things just kind of go radio silent sometimes, there's something up, and you know there is. And, of course, everybody's kind of bantering about when it comes to USC now because it seems like Andy Enfield could be the guy that's moving to SMU. I haven't looked at it in the last little while. Don't know if there's any updates there. But that's obviously been one of the big rumors out there. And what does that mean? It just must all of a sudden become on the radar of USC because, hey, the guy loves the West Coast. There's no question about that. Could that be something that unfolds? Who knows? So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out once all that's made official. If Enfield officially becomes the new coach at SMU, then I think, you're looking at some interesting things when it comes to USC. And I know there have been other names kind of bantered about out there, but look, I mean, it's just the Arkansas situation, like we said, it's wild to think that in a span of 1 year, this is where we are, given that they just were continually kind of the standard in the SEC and in the NCAA tournament, especially over the past several years. But now we're looking at a situation where, I mean, we still don't know anything. And now the transfer portal's open and all that kind of stuff, I know Arkansas is still reaching out to everybody like they do every year, but you never know what's going on in back channels and all that kind of stuff at this point.
Yeah. Blake, last thing for you, talking about that kind of coaching carousel. Vandy goes out and hires Mark Byington from James Madison to replace Jerry Stackhouse. I like this move. I think a lot of this, though, comes down to how committed Vanderbilt is and how committed they're going to be to him and this basketball program. What did you make of this hire for Vanderbilt?
Yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt could have hired John Calipari, Eric Musselman, any of the names we've mentioned here over the past few minutes, and their coaching pedigree wouldn't have been the biggest thing. It really would have been a matter of how is Vanderbilt going to commit, because that's really what this is all about. I mean, Byington is obviously a good coach coming off a career year where they won 32 games at James Madison, great offensive mind. I think he's someone that, look, Vanderbilt fans' concern is going to be, well, he didn't get to the NCAA tournament, but once, really, and it's kind of coming, again, a career season, is that the norm? Is that the outlier? But he's built up two really tough programs to build up, and that was Georgia Southern and James Madison. But, again, if Vanderbilt puts the money into it, they can compete in the SEC. They absolutely can. If they don't want to, then they're going to continue to be a program that's in the bottom four in the SEC. And really it is as simple as that, because we know there are restrictions there, whether it's academic stuff, whether it's transfer stuff, all that. Like, they've got to sort some of that stuff out because they're not always going to be able to choose from the same pool that everybody else is going to be able to choose from. But at the same time, they got just as much money as anybody else, and they've just got to be able to put it into it if they want Mark Byington to be successful. I'm not saying that was the sole reason Jerry Stackhouse wasn't successful there, but that's where you start to see those recruiting numbers go up. You start to see, the guys in the transfer portal get way more interested if you have what everybody else is working with. And so I think you'll have an opportunity to be successful there, but it really comes down to how bought in are they, and they should be. If they're doing a program reset, hiring a new coach, they should be bought in.
Yeah. Well, Blake, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you, Blake. And next week we'll either be talking about 1 or 2 or 0 from the SEC into the Final Four, and we'll wrap it up next week with Blake. And good stuff. That Kentucky prediction, he never backed away from it, and sold it with us, and really everywhere he does hits on. That was a good pick.
No, it was a really good pick. And watching that game and that Thursday night, I just could not stop thinking.
Never in doubt.
Wow, Blake told us we should have listened to him.
He sure did. And Vanderbilt, he's right. They've got to get committed. I know who's committed. 2 great places at the commissary. The new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar are the original in Germantown. In Germantown since 1981, a lot of holidays through the years, and they're there for us this holiday season, for this Holy Week, for Easter Sunday, for the big meal on Sunday. Let them do all the work. The hams, they've got them. If you want them to cater and take care of your event, they can do that as well. Here's the number. Tomorrow night is the deadline, 901-754-5540. You need to call and make your order now for the big meal on Easter Sunday. Save somebody all that trouble. Let the commissary take care of you. Online at commissarybbq.com. They're in Collierville in Germantown, and that's where it's perfect for a big group to go and watch the games tomorrow night. They get started right at 6 o'clock as soon as we get off tomorrow night. Perfect place to watch the game, spread out, and enjoy that Memphis-style barbecue done the Memphis slow-cooked way. If you're craving an easier way to order, text commissary to 33733. Start the feast with the appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales, the smoked chicken wings, or the barbecue nachos made famous, created, invented by Walker Taylor and his team in the early 80s, now a staple of sports everywhere. Dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, and you can order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack, and the desserts that you can have as well for Easter Sunday, the lemon icebox pie, the strawberry cake, and the terrific banana pudding. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville, in Germantown, in the party areas. And look at this forecast. We can get outside. Orders to go, catering, tailgating, and for any season. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
Well, I'm excited. Opening day for Major League Baseball tomorrow afternoon. Now, with that being said, 2 games already postponed for opening day in Major League Baseball. But that's not stopping us, because when we come back from this break, we're going to start making our picks for the MLB season. We'll do AL picks today. We'll do NL picks tomorrow afternoon. So let's go ahead and get to a break. And on the other side, we're making picks on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 24.7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Hey, it's my man Jeff Allen bringing sweet deals from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
Hey, Randy, I've got a 2024 Kia Forte LXS that gets 41 MPG highway, and you can hit the road for just $219 a month.
That's awesome. What else you got?
2024 Kia Sportage LX, $289 a month. Both 36-month lease and $34.99 due at signing. Or go big in a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $429 a month. 36-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, get peace of mind with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
We're online 24/7, KiaMountMoriah.com.
I wish you could see the beautiful azaleas and dogwoods in bloom. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I can't tell you how many times clients in November have told me that the flowers are truly breathtaking and the pool sparkles, but in November, it won't. But I say rush the season. Take photos in March, April when the azaleas are in full bloom, and take pictures of the pool when it's open. And maybe show some kids in the pool playing. So when you sell your home in the winter months, people don't have to use their imagination. They can see the beauty of your home as you see it. And when you're taking your pictures and thinking of selling at some point in the future, remember what people often say. When you want the job done, call Shell Done. You can reach me at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. At Shell Done Rosengarten, the worst golfer in town, at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We Gossett $289 a month. Both $34.99 due at signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7, 24.7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Okay, so there are some rules about what someone can and cannot say on a commercial. For one thing, you have to tell the truth, something not everyone necessarily follows to the letter. And there are a couple of phrases we're absolutely not supposed to say. For example, this is March, and this is an ad for Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect bar. As you know, while Bell Tavern isn't a sports bar, there are always sports playing on the TVs. And in March, there is one particular basketball event that Memphians really love. But I can't say the name of it. I can say Madness, and I can say March, but I can't say, well, you get the idea. Anyway, if you want to enjoy the third month of the year craziness, Bell Tavern's the place.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's a little bit crowded over here on 240 as you get on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway here at Ridgeway, continuing out towards Riverdale. It's only going to get busier here in a few minutes, even more so actually on 240 East, working your way up towards Poplar. Traffic's increasing also 40 East from Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway. We've had a couple of crashes out in Fayette County this afternoon. It's had traffic a little bit slow. They're in their clearing stages. It's building pretty good now down south as you work your way 55 through South Haven. Weimer's Jewelry, they're located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
All right, it's time to make some picks for the Major League Baseball season. We'll start with the AL today. We'll get to the NL tomorrow, picking divisions, the playoff seeding, how the playoffs should shake out, MVP, Cy Young, Manager of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and one of my personal favorites, first manager to be fired. So, Brett, where do you want to start?
Well, we're going to start in the American League, and that's the home of the world champion, Texas Rangers. Last year, that was about my best take when we did this, as I thought Bruce Bochy would have a wild card team, never dreaming they would win it all. I didn't have that. But he was really good in year one. Managing matters. I hope people wake up to that and quit kind of writing off the manager. Brian, how many people that would call themselves baseball fans, how many people do you think that know that Corey Seager was MVP of the World Series and he's a two-time MVP, joining the likes of Sandy Koufax, Reggie Jackson, and who else has been a two-timer? I know those two, maybe one more.
I don't think very many. I don't think very many at all.
To be mentioned with Sandy Koufax and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, that's
Corey Seager.
It's pretty good company, I think.
Yeah, that is that is special stuff, and I know I don't say I think that's it, and he's that, and I don't think he gets the third one. We'll start in the American League East. They spend the money there, don't they? Between the Yankees and the Red Sox, and here comes Baltimore now under new ownership officially.
Yeah.
And the Tampa Bay Rays, they don't spend the money. They're always there. Yeah. Toronto's in a tough spot. I'll start in the American League East with the Yankees and that payroll and the long game that you play in baseball.
Yep.
Don't get too freaked out about a 2-10 start. Listen to me, like I would freak out if the Cardinals started 2-10.
Brad, I can assure you, if the Cardinals start 2-10, your MLB promise is broken, and we're spending a whole show just freaking out about the Cardinals.
You're right, but it's the wrong sport to freak out over that start, over April, over May, even at the All-Star break. It's the proverbial always a lot of baseball to play. Even when you get down to Labor Day, we know there's still a lot of baseball to play. So with that payroll, that manager. Back again, famous for a middle name in Boston, but Aaron Boone. I'm going to pick the Yankees 1, the Orioles 2, and the Orioles is one of my wild card teams. Today at ESPN, they had 26 analysts, editors, and writers at for their MLB section, and they all picked Baltimore to win. I think it's 26 of them. Baltimore got 22 votes. To win the American League. But I got Baltimore as a wild card. I have Tampa as third, and that is a wild card. Toronto 4, and the Boston Red Sox in 5th.
Wow. I'm pretty similar to you in the AL East, but I have the Orioles finishing first in this division. I guess I'm just like ESPN. I'm high on the Orioles. I've got the Yankees second, the Rays third, the Blue Jays finishing in 4th in the AL East, and then I have the Red Sox finishing dead last in 5th.
Those ESPN panelists, everybody in the East got a vote except for the Red Sox. 22 for the Orioles, 2 for the Yankees, 1 for the Rays, 1 for the Jays. American League Central, you go first.
For me, I have the Guardians finishing in first place in the Central, followed by
second or third to last in payroll. The Cleveland Guardians and a new skipper.
Mm-hmm. But if they
Stephen
can
Voigt.
stay healthy this year, I like what they've got. So I have them finishing first. I have the Tigers finishing right behind them in second. I don't love that pick, but I do know that last year, for some reason, the Detroit Tigers played a lot of day games, and so I felt like I was always watching the Detroit Tigers in the middle of the day. And so I'll just go out of what I enjoyed watching last year, and I'll take the Tigers.
I want to get a Detroit
second.
Tigers note in.
Okay.
His dad is a good friend of mine, and Ronnie Eubanks is the dad. The son, Ryan, the head trainer of the Detroit Tigers, 33 years old, from West Memphis, Marion area. A really fine family, and has worked his can off to get there with the Tigers. I saw his dad Sunday at the game. He said, "I know you're pulling for a Tigers-Cardinals World Series." I said, "I've been to one of those in my life," and congratulations to him.
That's awesome.
He has worked real hard.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. Even better reason why I have them finishing second in the Central. I've got the Twins finishing third. I have the Royals. I think an improvement from the Royals this year. I just don't know how much of an improvement. I've got them finishing fourth. And the White Sox. I think the White Sox could be one of the worst teams in baseball this year. I have them finishing dead last in the AL Central.
The American League on the ESPN panel, the American League Central, it got first place votes from every team.
Whoa.
For every team in that division has the Twinks 1, Tigers 2, Guardians 3. No, I'm sorry, the White Sox didn't get a vote. And the Royals, even the Royals got 2 votes. I never come close to this division. I almost went oppo after working on this on the weekend, go completely upside down, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay with Rocco Baldelli's club at the top, the Minnesota Twins, Cleveland 2, White Sox 3 on the south side, Tigers 4, Kansas City 5.
I like that. All right, well, you're high. You're a little higher than I am on the White Sox this year. The AL West, it was brutal last year. I mean, it was extremely competitive.
You want to win a dollar in every bar or beer in every bar in the country? Just quickly ask them. Name the manager of the Houston Astros, and it's not
man.
Dusty Baker.
Yeah, no.
Joe Espada.
How about that? I think you can win a lot of money a lot of places. Maybe even at Astro games this year. Maybe tomorrow, opening day, you could probably win some money from people. I want to hear your AL West first.
I'm going to start with the Astros on top, just organizationally, top to bottom, what they have, what they've done. 2, Seattle, and Seattle is my third AL wild card. 3, the Angels, Ron Washington, who got the Texas Rangers in back-to-back World Series in 10 and 11, the heartbreak to St. Louis in 2011. He takes over as skipper there. Rangers 4, pretty precipitous drop for them. And 5, Oakland A's, Mark Kotsay, and they're battling a lot. I don't know that they have a local radio deal yet.
Really?
For A's games.
Holy
and it's
cow.
always tenuous.
That is that
Which
would
is
be
a shame.
Really, really weird. My AL West, I think I went through 5 different times switching my top 3 with each other. Couldn't get it right. I mean, last year felt like the last 2 weeks of the season, everybody was playing leapfrog in this division. So I've got the Mariners finishing first. I think they could have the best starting rotation in all of baseball this year. I think the offense will be better, so I have them finishing first. I have the Rangers finishing second, followed by the Astros. I think they take a step back this year. Angels fourth, and then the A's dead last, and probably dead last in all of baseball again.
My American League playoffs, the 1 seed, the Yankees, 2, Houston, 3, Minnesota. The 4 seed, wild card 1, will be Baltimore. The 5 seed, wild card 2, Tampa Bay. And the number 6 seed will be wild card number 3, Seattle. So in my first round wild card, I have Seattle with the upset over Minnesota and Baltimore handling Tampa Bay. They always get there, and they're good for the 162. They're not very good for the playoffs. Then in the American League Divisional Series, the Yankees over Baltimore, Houston over Seattle, ALCS, Yankees over Houston. How do you have it?
I have it. I've got the Orioles in first. I have Mariners second Guardians third. Then for my wild cards, wild card 1, Yankees. Wild card 2, Rangers, and wild card 3, Astros. With how close that was last year, I think all 3 of those teams in the AL West make it again. I've got the Astros defeating the Guardians in the wild card. I have the Rangers defeating the Yankees in the wild card. My ALDS, I've got the Mariners over the Astros in what should be a great series, and then I have the Orioles over the Rangers, setting up my ALCS between the Mariners and the Orioles. I have the Orioles advancing to the World Series.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it?
It would be something.
First time in a series for the Orioles since they won it in '83 in Cal Ripken's second year, winning his second year and never get back.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Dan Marino.
Yeah.
But except he didn't win the Super Bowl.
That's right.
My AL Manager of the Year, Scott Servais in Seattle. My AL MVP, Yordan Alvarez in Houston. My Cy Young winner in Seattle, George Kirby.
All right.
My AL Rookie of the Year, Wyatt Langford with the Texas Rangers.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. My Manager of the Year, Brandon Hyde, if the Orioles are going to have another great season and do what I think they could do, I have him as the Manager of the Year. MVP, I've got Juan Soto. I didn't want to pick Juan Soto, but I think as long as he has a, really good to great year, he's going to be the MVP. Just
I was
being in
close.
those pinstripes, it was hard for me. I didn't want to do it, but I said, whatever, I'll do it. My Cy Young, Shane Bieber, a former Cy Young winner, dealt with injuries last year, but I think if he's back full health this year, I think he wins it. And then my Rookie of the Year, Junior Caminero from Tampa Bay, I think he could have a breakout season for the Rays.
Boy, they just have a conveyor belt of young
They sure
players.
do.
Some organizations just ought to hire that whole building and come here and replicate what you've been doing there. Here's the budget. Here's everything you need. I wish that place would be St. Louis. That would just model after the Rays.
Yep.
My first AL manager fired when I said that 2-10 start, don't freak out. Well, I'm not sons of George Steinbrenner. Yankees with a rough start, they fire Aaron Boone.
Wow. All right. I like that one.
I got him winning the American League, though.
That would be interesting. But I kind of went a similar path as you. My first manager to be fired, John Schneider in Toronto. I think they are in very much a win now mode and mentality.
Got dicey last year.
It did. And you know who their bench coach is? Don Mattingly. And so you have somebody on staff right behind you that has been a manager, a really good manager in this game. So I think if there's a slow start, I do not think they would blink at all to make that move from John, get Don Mattingly to be the interim, and kind of go from there.
Donnie, baseball's bench manager in Toronto. Did not know that. Good stuff.
How about that? So that makes it interesting in Toronto if things kind of start south and they need to get better.
Brian, I would love your ALCS.
Oh man, I would jump for joy if that was it. I mean, that'd be fun. I mean, now maybe the TV markets, the TV networks probably.
I don't
would not
care
like
about.
it.
I don't care about what Fox thinks. I'm going to watch regardless. And for Seattle to have never been to a World Series, and for Orioles in this long stretch, I saw those two teams play at Old Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, the great stadium on 33rd Street. In '82, and that night was the oldest pitcher in baseball, Gaylord Perry, going against the youngest pitcher in baseball, Storm Davis.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that ballpark was something.
Who won?
That's a good question. Who won? It was a lot of frivolity, trust me.
Yes, I believe it.
That was when we would ride up on the bus from
yes. Those bus trips.
Yeah.
Well, then I should not have asked the question. If I had known it was a bus trip, I would not
can't
have
remember who won. I'm sorry, I can't.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was a great deal, though. It was a bar on Capitol Hill called the Hawk and Dove. And now back then, you got to remember, $12, $15, a lot of money, summer 1982. But and whatever it was, you'd pay $12, $15 or so, and that was your game ticket and all you could drink up and back and a box meal.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember who won.
Good deal.
I have to go to Baseball Ref tonight and look it up.
You could, but that's a really good deal. Well,
we hit it quite often.
I believe it. Why wouldn't you? So there's our AL picks. We'll do NL tomorrow afternoon. on opening day. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
I am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
At LL Flooring, we've been a trusted partner to pros for over 30 years. With over 400 nationwide warehouses full of in-stock, job-ready inventory, you'll get what you need. And our exclusive pro pricing means that pros never pay retail. Because at LL Flooring, all we do is floors. So we're going to do it right. Sign up for a free pro account today to start getting pro benefits. LL Flooring, every step covered.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, we talked a lot today about the Lakers and the Grizzlies matchup tonight. So my big number goes hand in hand with that one. I feel like I'm cheating because I've kind of used something around this big number, but not this big number in the past. So I feel like I'm almost cheating a little bit. But I do love this big number. It's actually two big numbers, 7,293, but it could also be said as 630,115,200. Johnny, which one do you like better?
The second one.
I like that one too.
I love the second one.
That is the amount of seconds between the day LeBron James was born, who is the current oldest player in the NBA, and the day Gigi Jackson was born, who is the youngest player in the NBA. Again,
that's a good one, Brian.
That should be in game notes tonight.
115,200 seconds, or if you want to simplify it, 7,293 days.
Bro, that's good number, bro. That's really good, Brian.
Thank you. I was excited for it.
I don't have a prayer today.
Hey, you're right.
I like my big number. I was excited to hear it.
I like it. I love it, Brian.
Mine is simply 9, my big number.
It's a good number. I mean,
9 straight Sweet 16s for Gonzaga. It's the third longest Sweet 16 run ever. Wow. UCLA, of course, with 1467 to 1980. North Carolina with 1381 season through 93. And Duke with 9 from 98 to 06. Do you remember the time when the Tiger program was light years ahead of Gonzaga? Gonzaga openly saying, we want to get to where Memphis is.
Yeah. I mean,
and now.
What a time when Memphis and Gonzaga were playing regularly. And,
Brian, I found that box score from 1982 that quickly.
Right.
How great are all the reference sites?
I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, between that and then being able to find, like earlier today when I was doing all my picks and stuff like that, I mean, going to these sites and being able to see not only the stats from previous years, but also projected stats for this season. And I can go, okay, I kind of like these projections. I like those projections. It's beautiful.
Gaylord Perry struggled, and now it's coming back to me. 1.2 innings. He got touched up pretty quickly by the Orioles. The Orioles 8-4 winners that night, and everybody thinks now the games take so long, and they used to speed by. Time of game 3:18.
Wow.
21:082 in Memorial Stadium that night. Start of the game 91 degrees. I don't remember it. I don't remember that at all.
Huh. Maybe you're sitting in the shade. I don't know. Too much time at the concession stand going for that those free drinks or all you can drink drinks.
Hawk and Dove was coming through. No, just on the bus. And at the game, you were back on your own.
Just on the bus. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I thought it was one of those special tickets or something.
No, we didn't have those. And we went to Inner Harbor as well and got crab legs to take inside the stadium with us. And you could see that it was a beautiful old stadium, but you could see why Irsay hated it.
Sure.
And wanted the Colts out of there.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of a neighborhood.
Well, it was, but that's great stuff. I mean, and again, just how quick you were able to find that. I mean, technology.
July 17th, 1982.
Wow.
6:37 local start.
How about that? A little evening start time. I love it. Brett, you texted me earlier during the show and asked me if I was aware that Seattle U and High Point are playing basketball right now.
And?
Brett, not only are they playing, I didn't bet on anything in this game. Honestly, I'll be honest. I knew it started at 4 o'clock and then forgot it started at 4 o'clock. But this is for the CBI championship, Brett. I mean, we are crowning our first
one shiny
champion of the season today. And that's what it's all about.
No, our first champion of the season was the Lakers in the in-season tournament.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And we'll not a dry in the building.
And I mean,
hey, you're right, Brett. You're right.
That victory parade.
Everybody need to know.
Still going down
what
with
a
their
moving
parade.
moment.
We'll get to see it tonight.
Brett, we got champions coming through tonight.
That's right.
They ought to bring the trophy.
They should. They should.
Take it around town to town.
Everyone should have to play.
This is what you should be playing for next year.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. You're absolutely right. That is what it's all about.
And the CBI.
And later tonight, the CIT. We're crowning 2 champions today in college basketball. Gotta love it. You gotta love it.
The ball is tipped.
That's right. I mean, it's a beautiful sport, I'll tell you that. But we need to get to a break, wrap up our second hour. When we come back, we're talking more college basketball with Kevin Sweeney.
We're here with David Cooper, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds. David, we're familiar with iconic brands. Are there designers for engagement rings?
Absolutely. Like every other industry, there are 10 renowned bridal designers who have been leading the industry for years. They are trusted, respected, and exclusive. Every jewelry store wishes to have them.
So what makes these designer engagement rings so desirable?
These designers drive a surge of customers to the store, making it the place to be. They attract shoppers who value quality, sophistication, and the ability to express their individuality through their engagement ring.
Can customers find these engagement rings in other stores?
Absolutely not. Other stores would love to have them, but they didn't make the cut. They have to settle for what they can get, not what they wish to have.
So Genesis has cornered the market.
Certainly. We offer a world-class exclusive selection from $1,900 complete rings to $250,000 celebrity rings. Best bridal designers in the world create these one-of-a-kind rings specifically to showcase your individuality like no other ring.
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar at Perkins Extended.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. I'm looking at a crash over here, possibly with injuries on 240 westbound at Mount Moriah. It's got traffic slow go, but I tell you, it's heavier over on the eastbound side. That's really slow. It's just that time of the afternoon for that to already slow down before you get to 385 there on the eastbound lanes. But again, the crash is over in the westbound lanes at 240 at Mount Moriah. That's going to slow it down behind it there, possibly all the way back to Poplar. Traffic's on the increase now through the Midtown area. Give yourself a little bit of an extra time, especially over here with this crash. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and joining us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin phone line, Kevin Sweeney joins us now to talk some college basketball. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us again. And I want to start off, obviously, a lot of people here locally, listeners, fans of SEC programs with all of the SEC schools around us. And we've talked about it a lot this week, but kind of disappointing first two rounds for the SEC. What did you make of the weekend in the NCAA tournament for these SEC teams?
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I think I try not to overreact to NCAA tournament results for conference strength. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's way overblown. It's the product of people trying to force narratives on the NCAA tournament that don't need to be forced. That being said, like, look, for a year that was so hyped for the SEC that, you know, a lot of people felt was like a breakthrough type season, to lose Auburn, Kentucky, South Carolina, even, you know, Florida in the first weekend was, you know, a heck of a blow. And you know, really, I think all those teams lost in the first round. So, you know, really rough. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't great for the league. Obviously, still have Tennessee and Alabama trying to carry the torch, and we'll see what they can do this weekend. But, look, I wouldn't take anything too deep away from it. I think all these teams were talented. All these teams, you know, performed well in the non-conference. They earned their seed. Just kind of ran into some tricky matchups and, you know, maybe some disappointing individual performances that plagued them in the tournament.
Florida with a really tough loss in a well-played game against Colorado, but a loss nonetheless. And the results, I think, speak for themselves. That's very good restraint by you, Kevin, because I have overreacted to the SEC. So I'm glad you're the voice of calm. A lot of years, Kevin, we hit this point, and people will say if you played the entire first and second round over, you would have much different results. Do you think that would be the case this year? If we went back and replayed all of last week, how different do you think it would be?
Yeah, not substantially. I do think that, you know, Kentucky and Auburn's results were somewhat fluky, and maybe that's why I'm not overreacting, right? Like, yes, there are lots of reasons we should be critical of Kentucky and critical of John Calipari for how that game went. But at the end of the day, there was one path to Oakland beating Kentucky, and that was Jack Golke making 10 threes, right? There was one path to Auburn beating Yale. It was John Poulikitis making unbelievable shots, right? I mean, it was special shooting performances that, you know, were 1 out of 10 outcomes, 2 out of 10 outcomes at worst. So, yeah, I mean, look, you know, those were surprising results, but I think, you know, this year's kind of quote unquote chalky tournament, you know, I think is an indicator of, like, you know, how good the teams at the top of the sport were. And I know a lot of people said no dominant teams this year in college basketball, but we had a really strong crop at the top, and I think those teams have showed well so far in this tournament.
We mentioned Kentucky, and AD Mitch Barnhart announced last night that John Calipari will be back next year for his 16th season at Kentucky. I've seen a lot of varied responses to the news that Cal will return to Kentucky, but what do you make of it? Were you, after that Oakland game, where did you kind of sit on Cal returning to Kentucky?
Look, I think in the initial moments after it happened, you started to, like, wonder how, like, logistically he could come back, right? There was going to be so much heat, so much pressure. And look, I still think it's going to be really hard. I think you know, there are going to be some serious fences that need mending with Kentucky fans. And, you know, somewhat similar to where Purdue is this year, nothing that Kentucky does in the regular season next year will mean anything because of the recent, you know, March failures, right? To lose as a 2 seed and a 3 seed in the span of 3 years is, gut wrenching, especially at a place like Kentucky that expects. Right, the season doesn't begin until the NCAA tournament starts at Kentucky, and so that's that's something that can be really hard to come back from. That being said, I think Mitch Barnhart made the right move because I don't think there's a clear direction you're moving if you do move on from John Calipari, right? I think there just needs to be more time to really have this job, I guess, marinate would be the best way I'd put it, and get a sense of who are the real candidates if you want us to move, right? I mean, when I see people on Twitter from Kentucky world saying that Scott Drew wouldn't be a satisfactory choice, I mean, you start to wonder, all right, who is, right?
Hard to please then.
Right, and if Scott Drew's not good enough, then you better be real sure you've got a name lined up that is going to crush this thing if you're going to make a move, and I just don't think Kentucky was in a position to do that right now.
Yeah.
A name very popular in the Bluegrass State at both schools in that Commonwealth. Rick Pitino, in the end, it looks like Louisville just couldn't bring itself to hiring son of Rick, could they?
No, look, I mean, I think the search was wild. And I think at some point Louisville got to the point where, some of the names that were being mentioned weren't all that exciting to the booster class. And so the booster class said, well, why don't we just get a Pitino back in here? Again, I mean, I think it could have been Jack Pitino, Richard's 7-year-old son, and they would have been happier than talking about Josh Hurts and Pat Kelsey, a certain booster that is at Louisville, a booster class, if you will. So look, I don't know how real it ever was that he could get that job, but I mean, look, when you wind up in a somewhat chaotic search and your last name's Pitino, and it obviously means a lot to that place, it did become a thing, but obviously in the end, going with Pat Kelsey, who I think has a chance to do quite well there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really intrigued by that move. Another move over the weekend kind of that had some ties to Louisville. It sounded like a lot of people thought Dusty Mays to Louisville was going to be the answer, but he goes and takes the job at Michigan. What do you make of that hire by the Wolverines?
I think Dusty made the right choice to choose Michigan over Louisville because at his core, Dusty May is a ball coach. Dusty May is obsessive about watching film. He is a guy who loves the intricacies, loves being in there with the guys. He does not want to be a politician. And I think to be the head coach at Louisville, you got to be a politician. And he does. I think being able to sit, somewhat away from the spotlight, have football giving you cover that you'll get at Michigan, to me, that really fits Dusty May. I think he'll do a really good job there. I think it's a really strong hire by Ward Manuel and the Michigan administration. And, I do expect he'll win. I know a lot of criticism for how the season ended, obviously not, living up to the expectations. But I do think at the end of the day, people, do have to take a step back and realize he got an at-large bid 2 years in a row at FAU. Ignore the Final Four run. That's a ridiculous 2-year run at a place that really had no history. And I do think he's a really good young coach.
Kevin, I loved Mike DeCourcy joins this radio station every Tuesday morning with Dave Woloshin in the mid-morning, and he made a good comparison, probably better than I'm going to retell it. He said, right now in college sports, you kind of don't know which boats are going to be floating out there in the future. In the SEC and the Big Ten, all those boats are, and Dusty May got on a boat that's going to float as long as it wants to at Michigan.
Yeah, look, I think the conference realignment factor has been real in the carousel. Vanderbilt had a much stronger candidates list than I think a lot of people would have expected, right? I think people would perceive that as, if not the worst SEC job, one of the bottom 3 to 4 just because of the academic restrictions and things that you deal with. Obviously also inheriting not a great situation from Stackhouse. They had a great candidate pool. Dusty May was interested and went down the line there. Obviously, there were discussions with Chris Mack, go with Mark Byington off of a 32-win year and a win in the NCAA tournament. I don't think that job gets that level of candidate pool without this perception of a quote-unquote power 2. The idea that you get into one of these 2 elite leagues and you view that over the next 5 to 10 years you're going to be on safer ground than almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
Kevin, is the best coaching story in the Sweet 16 the head coach at North Carolina State, Kevin Keats?
I mean, he was good as gone entering the ACC tournament. The feeling around that program was that within 24 hours of them losing in that tournament, which very well could have been very well could have been in that first game against Louisville. They really struggled. That he was going to, be let go by NC State. And instead, I think he's locked up 3 guaranteed years on his deal based on contract incentives. He, makes the Sweet 16 for the first time in, I believe, 40 years at NC State. Like, he's going to be around there for a while. So, look, I'm always skeptical. I don't want, again, it's a single elimination tournament, and you don't want to, completely mortgage your future over a hot streak. We saw Oregon State kind of walk into that world with Wayne Tinkle and now have a contract they can't get out of. But look, Kevin Keatts deserves a ton of credit because he kept this team believing and fighting in a time in college basketball where a lot of teams roll over and quit down the stretch these days. Everybody's worried about the portal. Everybody's worried about their next move, their next NIL deal. He kept these guys believing and fighting for one another and started a pretty miraculous run here that continues into the Sweet 16.
I don't think we've talked about SMU at all this season, maybe when Memphis played them earlier in the year. But they made a move last week. They go out and part ways with Rob Lanier as they're getting ready to move to the ACC, and it looks like all signs are pointing Andy Enfield will take that job from USC. Andy Enfield, maybe that seat getting pretty hot out there after what this season was. What do you think of that move for SMU to make a change before they go into a conference like the ACC?
Look, I think the move has to do not just with moving up to the ACC, but the uncertainty that's tied to the ACC moving forward.
Yeah.
I think SMU felt as though they needed to make as big of a statement about what they are as an athletic program.
Yeah.
Obviously football and men's basketball leading the way in the short period that they get quote-unquote high major status in hopes that if the ACC does blow up, that they'll have a good landing spot somewhere else, whether it's the Big 12, whether it's a larger SEC. I mean, who knows, right? But I think that's the thinking behind this, is we can't waste any time. We have a very short window. I will say I was surprised that the direction wound up being Andy Enfield, just because I thought if you were going to do this, you'd want someone who's very splashy and has a big personality. Like, obviously, Andy's done a nice job at USC. I know they struggled a lot this year, but the history of that program is not as strong as people would maybe think based on the athletic powerhouse that place has been. But he's not a guy with a huge personality. He's not a guy who's out in the community firing everybody up, right? Like, I could have seen a Musselman or a Jerome Tang, or if money's no object, like, go get someone like that who's a huge name. And I do think both guys would have entertained it. So landing on Enfield a little strange to me, but I do think, look, he has a track record of recruiting at an elite level, has a track record of winning at places that are set up to win but maybe haven't won totally. So I think he fits the job, and obviously we'll see where USC goes. That'll be an interesting job to open. Again, talking about the power too, USC sitting in the Big Ten will be very attractive.
Kevin, I didn't mind the SMU move. I know it was just 2 years. I know he was a little bit better this year, but they feel like we can do better, and we want to do better going into the ACC. I've heard some voices here in our area want to be critical, or at least why they do him like that. Do they not remember that Memphis did that to Tubby Smith after 2 years?
Yeah, look,
because they thought they could do better.
I think the way I would frame it is that the blessing and the curse of working at a place like SMU with as much money as any athletic program in the country, in their self-funding Power Five essentially right now. It is that you have a lot of money to work with when you're working there, but also your seat is never completely cool because they can flip on you anytime, and a buyout's no object, right? Rob Lanier will be handsomely compensated to walk away from this job. He already has a new one at Rice. I think he'll do well there. I did think it was a quick hook. I think he was building something at SMU. I think he could have done a good job, but at the end of the day, the quote-unquote job description changed, and they want to make a swing, and I'm not so offended by that plan by the SMU administration.
Yeah. Talking to Kevin Sweeney, joins us every week, talk college basketball. Go give him a follow on Twitter at CBB_Central. Kevin, back to the Sweet 16 matchups this week. Gonzaga, we talked about them a lot during the year, and it kind of felt like at times this year this was not one of Mark Few's talented teams. I shouldn't say talented, but the team that you thought was going to make that run come March Madness. But here they are, another Sweet 16, 9 straight for Few in that program. What do you expect to see in this matchup for them against Purdue?
It feels like people are giving them no chance, which I don't really buy. I felt like they competed in the first meeting when they played in November in Maui, and Gonzaga's a much better team now than they were then. They're deeper. they've found lineups that work. Ryan Nembhardt's been terrific. Graham Ike's settled in after missing last year with the foot injury. So I think they're going to give him a real game. It's credit to Mark Few. I think it's one of his better coaching jobs to get to this point. I'd also say that the 9-year streak is, to me, as impressive an achievement as winning a national championship.
Yeah.
Like, we have seen how hard it is to consistently advance in this tournament. I mean, Virginia has not won a tournament game since they won the championship in 2019. Baylor has not made it out of the first weekend since winning the championship in 21. Kansas has not made it out of the first weekend since winning the championship in 22. Like, it is unbelievably hard to consistently advance in the NCAA tournament, and for them to have done it 9 years running is wild. I think they'll give Purdue their best shot. I don't know if they can quite beat them, but I do think they'll compete, and it'll be a very compelling game.
You are Motown bound, correct?
No, I'm in Boston.
Boston. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I did originally think about heading to Detroit, seeing Purdue, but I think the storylines here in Boston are pretty phenomenal as well, with UConn playing San Diego State, the title game rematch, and then the nightcap with Iowa State, Illinois, best offense versus best defense. Sports will be a lot of fun.
You're on Illinois alert, aren't you?
I love this Illinois team. So much fun to watch. So dynamic. Having a lot of fun playing with one another. Like, sometimes you just get a sense that a team has just great vibes, great energy. They certainly have that. I've loved watching this team all year, and we'll see if they can break through. But look, it's been nearly 2 decades since they last made the Sweet 16. Their fans are on cloud 9. If they could somehow win 2 this weekend, I think there will be a lot of folks making the pilgrimage from Champaign all the way out to Phoenix for the Final Four.
It's been hard for me this year I know as good as UConn's been, to kind of buy in on the back-to-back. I mean, we haven't seen it since Florida did it, and a lot of seasons since then, so it's been kind of hard for me. But what UConn has showed through these first 2 games, they've looked absolutely dominant. And then I've brought it up probably too many times this week, but Dan Hurley after the game talking to CBS's Matt Norlander and kind of taking offense that UConn would have to play the first game of that session on Thursday night, Friday night, whatever night that game is, and saying that the NCAA is out to get them and is putting them in the hardest region and giving them the hardest times and all that stuff. So it looks like he's manufacturing bulletin board material for his team to go back to back. What have you made of this UConn team in these first 2 games? And like you said, that title rematch from next year this weekend in the Sweet 16.
I mean, it's classic coach speak, right?
Yeah.
He's doing everything he can.
Why does everybody hate us?
Gotta keep him fired up. Gotta keep him believing that the world's out to get him. It's smart. I mean, it's why they wanted to get last year. It's why they have a really good chance to repeat. Look, I think they've been really impressive, especially defensively. Like, what Klingon is doing at the rim has been just so impactful, and I think it's going to make it really, really challenging for teams to score on them. I do think that they're beatable. I think it will take a great effort from whoever does to do it. I do think that this weekend they will get pushed for the first time, really, this tournament. How much they will get pushed, I guess, remains to be seen, but I do think they will get challenged. Look, I think Hurley's done just an elite job of finding ways to keep this group, have this group understand what March is from their experience last year, but also turn the page and not be worried about repeating, not be worried about the pressure. Like, this team feels like they're playing loose, playing free, and they have not carried the weight of trying to repeat that I think a lot of teams deal with.
Yeah.
Kevin, when we visit next Wednesday, we'll be down to the Final Four. What's the best story, Final Four, but who do you think, in all practicality, will be in the Final Four?
Look, I think the best story would be to have Purdue in there for sure. I think Arizona being in state would be a great story. I think, getting Duke to the Final Four with all their ups and downs this season would be great. And then I think you could really argue for both UConn and Illinois would be very, very compelling in the Final Four. I do think the most likely Final Four, the one that I pick, would be UConn, North Carolina, Marquette, my little upset swing in the South, and then Purdue in the Midwest. But look, I think all these games are so high level and so competitive because we've had so much talk that I feel like there's more uncertainty about who's going to come out of these regions than normal.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It's going to be a lot of fun with these Sweet 16 matchups and the Elite 8 matchups this week. And so enjoy Boston, and we'll do it again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you so much. Kevin Sweeney with us every week, and just got the odds from betonline.org from Jimmy Shapiro, and the odds for MOP of the Final Four. How about this? Jamal Shedd for Houston. He leads at plus 700. Zach Edey at plus 750. Tristan Newton, UConn, plus 750. Donovan Clingan, plus 800. Cam Spencer, UConn, plus 1,400. Caleb Love, Arizona, plus 1,600. Dalton Connect, UT, plus 1,800. LJ Cryer, Houston Cougars, plus 1,800. And then here's one I think some value, because he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. I think they get there. R.J. Davis, North Carolina, plus 2,200.
Wow. I mean, if North Carolina can get to the national championship game, I mean, he's going to have, like you said, he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to be taking a ton of shots. I mean, I think there's a ton of value on that pick.
That's kind of the MOP model, too. You know, the big guys, at one time it was all big men winning MOP. But now, it's such a guard, wing-driven game.
Yeah, I think I agree with that until you talk about Purdue winning it, and then we know who MOP is going to go to if that's the case. But also, I mean, just impressive when you go through those and you have, you got a Houston player here, Purdue player, and then just, 3 straight UConn players stuck in there. I mean, just back to back to back in odds. I mean, it's incredible because I think all of these top teams have shown that they are really good teams. But UConn, when you look down that roster and just this guy could go off and be the guy of this game, this guy could go off and be the guy of this game, this guy could go off and be the game. I mean, it really is incredible that roster that they have up in stores with UConn.
It really is, and it's going to be fun. I'm ready to get back to the games tomorrow night.
Me too.
And we'll have a late night of games. The tip times tomorrow night, East Coast. Both nights. I mean, it's some late tip times.
Sure is. Yeah, those 9 o'clock, 9:30 tips. I mean, those are going to be, especially New York and those East Coast. It's going to be some really, really late night. That last game starting at 9, but I mean, we know that one could start a little bit later, I'm sure.
It's Chevy truck season at All Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. That's the first exit when you enter into Mississippi on Highway 78. First exit, Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there. All the Silverados you want right there at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Get any new Silverado with financing down to 0.9. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star Chevrolet. Trailblazers and Equinox with 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. Families love the new Suburbans. We can all do more together. Where are you going for Easter? Where are you going for spring break? Where are you going on that first big baseball trip? Maybe to wrap up this weekend in March Madness, or next week to the Final Four. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, first responders all get instantly an extra $500 bonus. You want something pre-owned? They've got it. All the Jeeps, Ram trucks, come drive the Yukon Denali or Traverse. If it's not on the lot, they can find it. Ask Jeff or Kevin, and they will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin and everyone at All-Star, Drew DePriest, the whole team, everybody wishes everyone a safe, happy, fun springtime and Holy Week and Easter on Sunday. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Go to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We will take applications, perform basic testing, and interview candidates on site. Salary starts at $54,611, increasing to $72,000 after 3 years. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
Hi, folks. Bob Burke coming for Sunrise Buick GMC truck. What a great time to buy a new or used car or truck and save money at Sunrise. The largest selection in over a year, over 500 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from, an $8 million used car inventory. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Factory rebates up to $6,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Immediate financing available with loans low as 0% on select models. Cars and trucks under $10,000. When it comes to selection and savings, it doesn't get any better than this, partner. Come on in and save some money at Sunrise. Coming to Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're just filling out paperwork now on this crash, but it's left us with a pretty good slowdown on 240 westbound at Mount Moriah. This time of the afternoon, it gets crazy over in the eastbound lanes because you're either going to make a decision to get off on 385 or you're going to continue on 240 east there up by Poplar. Traffic still moving right now through the Midtown area, better than it was last week at this time as it filters out of Midtown there on 240 south down past Norris. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We've talked a lot today about the Grizzlies and their game later tonight against the Lakers, a 7 p.m. tip downtown at FedEx Forum. But it's official now. Taylor Jenkins wrapped up his pregame media availability with the quote, "Welcome back, BC." Brandon Clark
Good deal.
Will officially go tonight for the Grizzlies. And it's first time in over, I think, what we say yesterday, a year and a month that he has played in a basketball game. So it'll be nice to have him back out there. Well, I should say at home because the last one was about a month ago, or about a year ago. But at home, it's been about a month and a year. So it'll be nice to see him back at FedEx Forum.
Glad to have him back. I don't think we were guilty of, and I didn't hear or see a lot of this, but probably appreciate him a little more now in this prolonged absence than maybe we did day in, day out while he was in there doing good work.
Absolutely. And, it kind of interesting, I think, and we talked about this a lot last year when it was actually happened, but the way that Taylor Jenkins used those forwards, it would really be on a kind of game decision and a matchup decision. And so you didn't really see Brandon Clark every single game out there. But, now, especially after the trades and, Tillman going to Boston and with all of the injuries this year, I mean, you definitely would have liked to have him. And he's always consistent out there. I think you always know what you're going to get from Brandon Clark. You're going to get a good performance from him. So, I'm not expecting a ton tonight. I just want to see him get out there and kind of get those legs back under him. And, I don't know if he'll play every single game down the stretch. I doubt it. But, it will be good to see him out there running again.
And he will help Jaren Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any position in the sport of basketball that what I'm getting ready to say applies more to. First of all, is it point guard.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make anybody a point guard. They are.
Yep.
I mean, it's like left-handed pitchers. Yeah, they're born,
right.
man. You're one or you're not. The next guy is that 5, the post player, and trying to make Jaren into one. I don't know that it will ever work, but I know that it'll work better with Brandon Clark as co-pilot than without him. How he weak side rebounds so well will really help.
Yeah, it will definitely help. I mean, having
less
BC,
reaching and grabbing for Jaren.
Helping, getting him down there alongside Jaren will definitely help a lot. And also, with all of the injuries you have, if you needed to take Jaren off the court, you could move BC, be undersized, but you could move him to center, and I think he could give you good minutes with kind of what you have right now with Trey Jemison. You can't play him every game because of his two-way contract, and with Jaren. I think any way you slice it, BC being out there makes this team
Welcome
better.
Back.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to see him out there. And
I'm already excited for next year because I know just give us the blessing of some good health, and it won't be in this position. And tonight we'll have that extra buzz in the arena the Lakers always bring. Sure brought last year at playoff time. Remember, I wanted the Lakers.
You did.
Well, I got them.
Hindsight's 20/20, Brett.
It is. Brian, through the years, I have been very, very fortunate, lucky, that I have never had to offer up apology over the airwaves, over something outlandishly said. Look, I made wrong predictions, and I may have said things that people disagreed with, but I never felt like I needed to come in and offer up apology. Today I do, because I have been blasted. I'm about to get kicked out of the Cardinal family. Earlier, when I mentioned Corey Seager and his 2 MVPs, and I said how many people would know that he's in with Sandy Koufax and Reggie Jackson, I left out Bob Gibson, and my Cardinal friends are about to disown me. Bob Gibson, MVP in 64 and 67, but for blowing a 3-1 lead in 68, he would have made it 3 MVPs in 68 against the Tigers.
Brett, that's
so I'll offer up apology to Cardinal Nation.
Pretty big one to forget.
First one.
Yes, apologies to our Cardinal brethren.
You want to hear amazing Bob Gibson numbers, and I don't think he's going to start the home opener, but when Kyle Gibson toes the rubber, I'm going to guess the first guy, last name Gibson, starting in St. Louis since Bob Gibson.
I would think so.
And he's wearing uniform number 44.
Wow.
So that's one less than Bob Gibson wore.
Wow.
And I got to get this shot in before I can't criticize baseball.
Yeah, please.
He's going to be one number less and about 1,000% less effective.
Well,
than Bob
Brett,
Gibson.
get it all out now because you got about what, T-minus
it's clock
20
ticking.
minutes.
Feels like the clock on 24 is ticking.
That's
doesn't
right.
it?
That's right.
But Bob Gibson, in his World Series career, 81 innings pitched, 92 strikeouts, 7-2, and even hit a home run.
Wow,
in
how about
67.
that? How about that? That's pretty good stuff. That's
great
good.
Cardinal.
Yeah, a great Cardinal. Brett, I talking about Kyle Gibson, and I think Lance Lynn is going to make the home debut for the home opener debut for the Cardinals. I'm worried about this starting rotation for the Cardinals. I mean, you look at those arms and
I am too.
Those ages. I mean,
National League picks tomorrow, American League today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kyle Gibson was pretty good yesterday, though, wasn't he?
He was good yesterday. I don't remember his exact stat line, but he was good. I'm excited for the Cardinals season. I mean, I think certainly want them to be better, and but they've
the
got
Braves
some
are
fun
the best
pieces.
team in baseball, though.
Absolutely. I'll just say it now.
They win 100 games.
Yeah. I have the Braves winning the whole thing.
Okay.
And I'll just go out and say that now. But as much as I don't know if I have anything
I've got
against
an
the
upset
Braves.
in the National League.
You really? How much of an upset?
Whopper.
Really? Okay. All right.
Big one.
Okay. Because
Remember, I got the Yankees in the American League.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That's a good point, I guess. I didn't know you could go. I don't know where you're going, but maybe the Dodgers, but that wouldn't be much of an upset with.
I was looking
how much
at
they
payroll
spend.
numbers today.
Oh,
The Mets, when play ball starts for them now on Friday, $301 million.
Wow.
That's just for this year.
Incredible.
They got to cut those checks on the 1st and 15th.
That's insane. It's crazy.
It's not even real, is it?
No. I mean, how is that even possible? But it is, I guess. Only in baseball, though.
Again, and it was opened in 2004, so 22 years ago. To build FedEx Forum was $260 million.
Yes.
The Mets payroll for this year, just doing business to the end of this year, is $301.
Crazy. That's insane.
And you see the value in the Orioles sale today.
Yeah. But I mean,
team value's up.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it should be. But back to the Mets. I mean, I gotta start doing something. It's been a struggle the past couple of years, and when you're making those paychecks, you got to start doing something.
Sometimes in July, in the heat of the summer, we got to do a top 10 list, and the Mets would be up there. Exclude the Cardinals.
Okay.
Exclude our favorite team.
Sure.
Favorite hat.
Oh.
And the Mets traditional with that orange NY going back to the Giants and the Polo Grounds.
Yeah.
I love the Mets
good one.
traditional home hat.
That's a good one. Yeah, well, I got to write that down because we'll do that in the summer.
Yankees pretty strong.
Yankees is really strong. Dodgers
And I like
is
how
really strong.
that blue-black is kind of a chameleon.
Yes.
The sun can hit the Yankees just right, and it's very bluish blue.
Yes.
And then kind of in the shadows, it almost looked like Detroit Tigers black, but it's not.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. No, that's good. As much as I love hats,
A friend of mine told me the Yankees bluish blackish chameleon hat is almost like the presidential limo. They call it the Beast.
Yes.
And sometimes it looks blue and sometimes
That's right.
it looks black.
It's a good point. I mean, that really is. I did not have on my bingo card today comparing the Yankees hat to the presidential limo.
To the Beast.
How about that?
Yeah.
To the Beast, I guess so.
If people are wondering about tomorrow night, and as the NCAA tournament gets down to the Elite Eight, Mr. Brackets, Johnny Hill, our great producer, who is 37-11 through the first 4 days of the NCAA tournament, 14 out of 16 of the Sweet 16. He has UConn advancing. He has Illinois advancing, North Carolina and Arizona. That's left side. Right side, he has Houston. He had Kentucky. advancing to the Elite Eight. They won't. He had Purdue and Tennessee. Johnny, you can go 7 out of 8 in the Elite Eight.
Hey, man. Yeah, I can. It's a possibility.
This bracket hangs at the Louvre. I'm telling you, if you do that.
Hey, man. But you know these streets, these bracket streets, Brett. They can be torture now.
No, Brett. Johnny, we know. We've been experiencing.
We know how tough they are. We're out here getting bloodied up on these streets.
You don't know. I mean, you're riding in the presidential limo right now.
You're in the beach.
Yeah, you're in the beach. We're out here on, in the streets, I guess.
Hey, man.
You can fire nuclear warheads from the back seat of your car. Brian and I just out here picking up the scraps.
Yeah, I mean, we're just watching you go by. We're just waving as you go by. Hey, Mr. President. Hey.
Yeah. Johnny, I'm utter amazed. It's the best I've ever seen. Yeah, and I've been in every pool and pots you can think of.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you, man.
So congratulations.
Hey, like I say, beginner's luck, man.
Sure. Right.
Beginner's luck.
Man, he set the hook on us, didn't he, Brian?
Yes, he sure did. And for everything, not just these picks. I mean, all the picks we've done with him.
NFL playoffs.
I don't know. I mean, I've never really thought much about picks like this. I guess I'll go ahead and make bowl picks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and just goes out and looks really, really good doing it.
Johnny can't wait till First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast to wear us out next fall in.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be fun.
Kind of sat and watched how it worked.
Hey, man, but I'm a rookie there too, Brett. Rookie luck.
Jump in and really get after it.
What about my first AL manager to be fired? I picked the Yankees to go to the World Series, but Aaron, famous middle name in Boston, Boone, to be the first one fired.
I mean,
that's a possibility.
Well,
they won in '78 doing that. Fired Billy Martin, hired Bob Lemon, and won it all.
And I mean, you look at that roster and what that lineup will look like tomorrow when they take the field the first time. I think there's a lot of people that could manage that team and get them to the World Series.
500, as Jerry Jones said about the Cowboys?
Yeah, and but I think Aaron Boone has certainly taken some criticism these past couple of years for not being able to get the job done. And so I think, we talk about, Kentucky and how much that fan base is, clamoring for them to produce in the postseason. The Yankees, way bigger brand. I mean, it's the same exact thing as they're waiting to see the Yankees back in that limelight and them making that. And so if they don't start hot, I could definitely see them making that change fast, try to get somebody, and then get back to a good season and make that push.
I know we're close on time. I love the project that Bruce Marshall is taking on to go back and see if we had college football playoffs through all these years, how often would the winner have turned out differently? The Yankees' dominance of the sport, I'm here to praise. I am not a Yankees hater at all. Not that big a lover,
right.
but respect the pinstripes and the house of Babe Ruth. I just wonder, though, through the years, if we'd have just had the CS all those years instead of just the winner of the AL, boom, in the World Series against the winner of the National League. And then you get into these layers of it, and when they go on the road and it's the biggest thing coming to town and the crowd all charged up and waving towels, I just wonder if the Yankees would be sitting on that same number of World Series championships. I bet not.
No, I bet not. That's a really good point, and I actually hadn't thought about that. And so that's a really good point by you. But that brand is huge, and their fan base is very loyal up there. And
it's better when they're good.
It's way better when they're good. I mean, you look at just kind of
sport is better.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as much as you go and talk to any MLB fan, and they'd probably say, "Who's your favorite team?" As long as you don't say my favorite team is the Yankees, they'd probably say, what team do you hate? And it's probably the Yankees. I can't stand the Yankees. That's just fandom, of course. But you're absolutely right. When the Yankees are at the top of the sport, the sport is better, and that's just how it goes. And I think they're going to be pretty good this year. The addition of Juan Soto, I think, is going to make them a lot better this year. So we'll see. Opening day tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. But we need to get to our final break of the day, and when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
am such a failure.
You're going to have to narrow that one down a bit.
As the spokesperson for Central Barbecue, I have failed to tell everyone about the new location in South Haven.
Technically, I'm the spokesperson for Central Barbecue.
Well, I haven't told anyone, but there's a new location in South Haven that's super convenient for the people living there. And I haven't told them that location is where all the Central Barbecue catering for North Mississippi comes from.
If we could get back to the Central Barbecue spokesperson thing, see, you have to do this because you work here.
Now, I have no clue how I'm going to face the people of South Haven. I have besmirched the name Central Barbecue spokesperson.
Besmirched?
It's time to triple your savings with Gossett's Jeep Celebration Event and Ram Truck Month and Dodge Power Shot Days all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. How about new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4? We Gossett $5,052 off MSRP. That's Jeep Renegade Latitude $24,988. How about new 2023 Jeep Cherokee Altitude 4x4? We Gossett $33,230. That's $8,000 off MSRP. And Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike has 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon 4x4, $14,000 off MSRP. So drive past the rest and come to the best Gossett on the Pike or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
Renegade Triple P 56029, MSRP 30,040, Altitude PD 10 3653, MSRP 41,230, Gladiator PL 570 369, MSRP 64,925, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you buy their other jewelry at inflated prices just to be considered for a Rolex purchase. Well, that's all changed now that Genesis Diamonds has arrived. Genesis Diamonds is the premier dealer of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. People who come in are shocked to see Daytonas, Hulks, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejusts, all the hard-to-find Rolex watches ready to wear today. At Genesis, we've used our worldwide connections to find only the first luxury pre-owned Rolexes, immaculate, pristine watches, fairly priced with no strings attached, and with flexible financing options. So enough with the wait lists and the retail jeweler games. Get the Rolex of your dreams today at Genesis Diamonds. And if you already have a Rolex and are interested in trading up, we also have Rolex buyers on site every day. Just another example of how we're forever changing the jewelry landscape here. Genesis Diamonds, official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
It's time to discover your new Kia at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And there's never been a better time to drive off in your new Kia. Make it happen today in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG, $219 a month. How about sporty 2024 Kia Sportage LX? We Gossett $289 a month. Both $34.99 to its signing. And get rugged in 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $429 a month. $39.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars. Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE72, 39.85, MSRP 22,320. Sportage R7 24.7640, MSRP 29,635. Telluride RG 49.9963, MSRP 41,005. Includes all rebates and incentives. Best finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax on license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/1/2024. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today, Diana Rossini, who does great reporting on the NFL for The Athletic, she reported earlier today in The Athletic that the kickoff change rule that we talked a lot about yesterday took a lot of persuading by the NFL to get the owners on board. It sounds like Roger Goodell and other NFL executives spent the night prior to the vote explaining to owners and really driving in the point on how important this rule change would be for player safety across the league, but that a lot of people in the NFL did not think it would pass and did not think it would pass like it did. So I think a lot of people, I've not heard a ton of pushback on this change. I think that that's going to change when the NFL season rolls around and a lot of people start seeing that. I think that's when we're going to see a lot of the pushback to this rule. Not saying I think it's a bad change, not saying I think it's a good change. I just think we're going to see a lot of people, a lot more buzz around this change when we're actually seeing it on the field.
Brian, I'm with you, and I really do hate to be this cynical, but I wish I trusted Roger Goodell's motives, that it was really out of safety and not out of not being involved in a class action lawsuit.
I'm with you on that.
What I learned today, the win of the year at FedEx Forum for the Grizzlies was over Milwaukee in February. Tonight would top that, I think. I hope for the very loyal Grizzlies fans, they get that tonight. That box score from last night in Milwaukee and arriving in Memphis at the hotel at about 1:30, it should help. LeBron James didn't even play, but LeBron's kind of always tired this time of year. 52 minutes for AD, 46 for Magic Reeves, and 39 for Rui Abdul-Jabbar last night. They're tired.
They are. They should be tired. What I could have done without today, it's got to be, as excited as I am still for opening day tomorrow. Already 2 games postponed tomorrow. Brewers and Mets were supposed to kick us off at noon tomorrow. Oh, man, day baseball. I mean, we'll still get a lot of afternoon baseball. But that one is off. Also, the 2 o'clock Braves and Philly. So we'll be starting tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock our time with the Angels versus the Orioles.
I really feel bad for this next one. I just sent our friend Dave Woloshin a thank you text for something he did for me. I was very appreciative, and he's going to dislike me tomorrow when he hears my Cub pick in the National League Central, and he's going to dislike what I'm getting ready to say. I could have done without. Everyone doubts the Chicago Bears to make a bad decision at quarterback because they always do. They're going to make it over Caleb Williams. So many coaches, so many GMs, so many different plans, and failure at the quarterback position. They took Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. That's just unimaginable. Their top 4 or 5 quarterbacks all time, Jay Cutler, Sid Luckman, this is passing yardage, Jim Harbaugh, and Jim McMahon.
I mean,
that's Bear quarterbacking.
It really is. I mean, it's crazy.
Johnny Lujak's 11th on the list.
Wow.
I love me some Johnny Lujak, but my goodness.
That's a list right there. That is definitely an interesting
Billy Wade,
list.
6th or 7th. He played at Vanderbilt 100 years ago.
Yeah. Where are you beaming tonight?
I wish I was beaming to FedEx Forum. I wish I was going. I just can't make it tonight for the LeBron show. I hope he plays great and the Grizzlies win and all of his fans get to see him in downtown Memphis.
Yeah, beam me out to L.A., not tonight, but tomorrow afternoon, opening day for the St. Louis Cardinals on the road. But opening day not for the Los Angeles Dodgers, their third game of the season, as they're 1-1 after their 2 games in Korea last week. It was weird looking at that and seeing Tyler Glasnow with already 1 official start on the season. A little odd, but that should be fun tomorrow.
12 NBA games tonight, all eyes on downtown Memphis, but also Houston. They want Orlando to beat Golden State, and they beat Oklahoma City, and we're tied for the last play-in spot.
Yeah, it should be a fun night with the Lakers in town against the Grizzlies. A lot of other good NBA action, but that's all the time we have tonight. Enjoy your evening. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.